It's time.
And we're here with the Pantelis podcast. Wassim, it's been a while.
It has. Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for coming. It was good that you decided to come last minute. Because sometimes when I ask people last minute, they get upset with me.
I was upset, but I decided to still come.
They're like, give me some more notice.
Yeah.
But you could have had more notice. I just wanted you on, so you could have come next week too. I wouldn't have held it against you.
Now that
Yeah.
well, you want to wrap this up and I'll come back?
And Poseidon's creeping in the corner. How you doing, bud?
Yo, Wagwan.
What?
Means what's up in Jamaican.
Oh yeah, you being one of the native Jamaicans that we have around here. It's good that you brought that up. How you been, Was? What have you been up to?
I've been good, man. Laying low, you know?
Keeping busy?
Just hiding behind the bushes.
You
know?
lost a lot of weight.
Looking outside. Yeah, man. The pandemic's been good for that for me because I was going hard in the other direction. And I think like everybody else in the beginning, it hit. And
I ate everything.
Oh my God. I was just like, the world's ending. I just take a fucking scoop of flour and put it in my face. just not rational eating. In any
Yeah, no,
way,
all of us.
you know? And then once I calmed down a bit, I was like, I think I'm, they were like, oh, by the way, people who are dying are fat and they smoke. And I was like, fuck, that sounds a lot like me.
Well, yeah, you have a cigarette in one mouth and you're eating a Twinkie. You're like, huh,
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
Yeah. Like, fuck, sucks for them. And then I'm like, oh, why is that still jiggling? I'm just sitting. That's what gets you sometimes, not to be crass, but when you're just sitting down, you know, maybe on the toilet or something.
Yeah.
And then that was the moment that I was like, I got to do something.
This belly's too big.
It was like, I couldn't breathe from sitting. I was like, that's wild.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that's
You know?
intense.
You ever been there?
Of course.
So I can still, like, I run almost every night.
Nice.
And now,
Yeah, you look pretty slim too, my
well,
friend.
the cardio's gotten better. Like, and I
Yeah.
can run for a while. Like, I'm running for 40
Yeah.
minutes nonstop. Well, running, jogging.
Yeah.
And I used to be able to do even longer, but I would have to take breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 20 seconds, catch my breath. Now I just do the whole thing and go back home. So my cardio, I've noticed, has gotten better. But man, I still gotta watch what the fuck I eat. I'm too much of a pig.
Yeah. Oh, aren't we all, man? It's crazy. I've been diving deep into like nutrition and all. I went just nuts going the other way. I've always been interested in it, but then
No, but you did the right thing because you look like a different person. Like you did, like I half-assed it. You fully committed and you did it properly.
yeah, this is it's a problem almost, but fuck.
That's a good problem to
have. Yeah, like
He's got problems. None of them are good to have.
I know.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? I have problem? What problem? Yo,
At least you're mysteriously losing weight. That's
Yeah.
good.
yeah, it's a mystery. Yeah, before we got started, he's like, I'm mysteriously losing weight. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gym in 20 minutes.
Go to the gym, I'm eating right. It's weird. It's just flying off. What's going on? Do I have AIDS?
So with no, he could.
That's
No,
a good
he's-
way to lose weight.
He does live a lifestyle that leaves him open to getting
Mm-hmm.
AIDS. He fucks a lot of dudes.
We know.
No condom.
Yeah, that's what makes it.
Yeah.
Oh, because we're talking about conspiracies.
Yeah.
We saw something right before you came here, which I told him it's probably fake, but it makes you nervous. There was a guy talking. He's like, I have leaked emails from the liberal government, and here's the agenda. So they go, we're going on to further lockdown steps the next month and a half, which I'm like, believable. That's something that they would do. There's going to be a chance that they're going to realize that it gets so deadly, or they're going to say it gets so deadly that you need a vaccine. If you agree to get the vaccine, what they're doing now is because of all the money, people are losing money, they're going to do a debt relief program where your mortgage debt, your credit card debt, all of it gets wiped out. But this is going to happen through a loan from the IMF. And in order to get that, though, you agree that now you don't own anything. Everything's paid off, but you don't own any property. You give up your rights. And I was like, what? This is crazy. This can never happen. You know, so he panicked, started looking. He couldn't find anything to back it up. I think it's a complete fake story. But I could tell why people, remember how he said it's the end of the world I'm eating?
Yeah.
Imagine now you're going about your day. You're paying off your credit cards, and then you hear debt relief. We're going to get rid of everything. Mortgage. You're like, all right. But you have no more rights to own everything. Now the World Bank owns all your shit, and you get a salary from the government. You start panicking. You're like, oh, wait a second. What the fuck have I worked my whole life for? So I have no more rights as a citizen? So then you panic and do stupid shit. And then those are, I find, the dangerous conspiracies. Like
For sure.
Dude, people get scared when they hear shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to just look at sources, right? Because
Yeah.
already you're like leaked email from a liberal government. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, what
right?
is
that?
yeah.
What's the liberal
Yeah.
government? What, are we talking about
Oh,
Canada?
We're talking about Canada. This was
Or are we
all
talking
Canada.
Yeah, they were
state.
talking
This-
about
okay.
the LPC,
Yeah.
Liberal Party of Canada.
I'd have to. Yeah, that sounds a little too hard. You never fucking know, though. That's the thing is.
Yeah, nowadays.
You never know what's real. I'm not saying this in particular is real, but it's like it's scary to think about what the potential future outcomes are of what's going on right now.
If this is real, we're fucked. I don't know how to fight a war like that.
No, it's over. You know what I mean? It's like 3-4 months ago, I might have laughed at shit like that. And now I'm like, because I know people who are very much into this, and I've gone on conversations.
Yeah.
It's hard to have a concrete opinion anymore. In the past, I might be like, you're a fucking idiot. What are you talking about? But now I'm like, I'm just going to listen and see what happens and panic inside a little bit. You know what I mean?
Because you do have a point, because there has been a lot of stuff that I laughed at that then turned out to be true.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, who's laughing now, clown?
Exactly. Yeah. Once I realized that the lizard shit was real, like the lizard people control the government.
The lizard shit, I'm still convinced is not real. And I had David Icke on the podcast, and as soon as I broached the subject, he fucking brushed it off. He didn't want to talk about it.
I told you this privately, but I'd like to publicly say thank you for not letting it go. Yeah. I think you went into it like twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
You're like, all right. Because that's what I want to know.
Yeah,
Because
me
I have
too.
a good friend who's really into lizard shit. And I always
Like fucking lizards.
No, like the lizard
I know, I'm
conspiracy.
busting those
So
balls.
stop ruining his flow.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that wasn't explanatory. They're really into lizard shit. They're just into like fucking facts about lizards and their feces.
Yeah.
No, I mean into the whole conspiracy that there's lizard people out there. But it's like there's 1,000 different competing conspiracies within that umbrella. Mm-hmm. And like you said, there's always, when you look into this stuff, dudes like David Icke, what I see is like they give you like a glimmer of something that sounds kind of true, where you're like, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Perfect example is from the interview you did with him, which summed up so many of the conspiracies that I see out there. You go, tell me, okay, let's go back to the lizards. Well, however you said it. You're like, lizards, explain. And he was like, Pantelis, you look up at the sky at night. You see what you see, and you're like, I don't know, fucking stars. You're like, I don't know, fucking lights, fucking planes, stars. He's like, you see stars, yeah. You see millions of stars. You're like, I see like 3. I live in the city, but there's millions of stars up there. There's billions of galaxies. There's trillions of planets. Are you telling me there's no life out there? And you're like, that's lizards, dude. Like, what does that have to do?
Yeah, that's my thing, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I go, yeah, I would imagine through the laws of probability, there's life out there.
Agreed.
I would imagine there's probably lots of life out there. But you can't go, oh, there's life out there, therefore, I don't know, fucking
Secret cabal of lizards are running things here. That's where he loses me too on that. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, make that connection. But whenever you confront people like that on those things, they just go off into a weird tangent of like, this table, it seems solid, but it's made of molecules that are mostly empty.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
But stuff like
I said,
that.
give me a sandwich, bitch. Like,
Because he does say some stuff. Well, everyone says stuff that actually is real. Like, for example, the whole pedophile fiasco with Hollywood.
Yeah.
Jimmy Savile in the UK. We know that's true. This is not hidden stuff. Now
Right.
we know that he was fucking these kids. There's that island. Crazy, disgusting stuff.
Yeah.
So when you throw that in the mix, you're like, oh yeah, he is right about that. You know. So what happens a lot is like, oh, tell me about the lizards. Let's talk about the pedophiles. The pedophiles are like, fuck, the pedophiles, yeah, he is right about that. Mm-hmm. But I want to know more about the lizards. We'll get to the lizards in a second. But the pedophiles, are like, yeah, I do care about the pedophiles. Like, they're fucked up. He's right about that. Does that mean that he's right about... I mean, you could be wrong on certain stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that the lizard might be a metaphor, or it might be just a thing that he thinks.
Right.
But it doesn't discredit the fact that we do have a problem with these fucking pedophiles and the way the elites see regular people, how like, you know, we're beneath them, and so they're willing to sacrifice us. And by even sacrifice, I don't mean like ritualistic. I just mean like they don't care about our lives. They don't care whether you have money in your pocket or not. So all that stuff we can't discredit. But man, I have trouble. And I wanted to really get into it. I have so much trouble with. I don't believe in the lizard thing. That's if I can make that any more clear. So it doesn't make me like him less, because he was very nice. He was a nice guy. His people were nice to me. But it just. I'm like, come on, bro. Can we get past this? Can you say that maybe you're wrong about the lizards?
Yeah, get back to it.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of willful. I'm sure he's a great dude and whatever, but
Nice guy, super nice guy.
I don't know if he's a great dude, but he's. I'm sure he's a personable person.
The man's a hit at parties.
I'm sure he's a very personable, is what I meant to say. But like, I think there's with a lot of those people, there is a willful deception, which is like, I don't know how much I can get behind it, where it's like you're slipping in these things of truth, and then you're also slipping in conspiracies that you don't know are real. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I slip in like the universe is vast, and there's these other dimensions, and you're like, I'm on board, and you're on board, and you're like, and then there's a one world government, and they want us to be all chipped, and then all that, and you're like, guess. Well, he was right about the other dimensions. That's true. I guess we're going to be chipped. And then you just kind of go into it. And it's easy to kind of slip into these things that are like, I don't know if you can really concretely say. Listen, like, I don't think it takes a vast conspiracy to say that very few people hold the large majority of the power
I'm
and
with
wealth
you.
and want to keep it and
Yeah.
will do fucked up shit to keep it.
Yeah.
I don't think that requires like a vast conspiracy. You know what I mean?
It doesn't require it to be vast. It requires it to just be efficient. And when you look at how many different people control like all of our broadcast media, which is a handful, it's the same company that owns almost, you know, it's like 2-3 companies that own
Sure.
all these varying opinions, but it comes back to the same 2-3 people. That right there is, all right, that's power.
Yeah.
The second you control people's opinions, their minds, you have ultimate power.
Yeah.
What's the best form of control? And then I look at, like I said, agendas. Like I always look at what's the agenda. Like no one's going to set their own country on fire so that they could lose power. You get the only time you see crisis like this is when someone's looking to get power through chaos. You know, like what's happening in the States, for example, now. Any other year, even 2 years before, so the election was this close, there's no way in hell that the Democrats would be for the looting, the rioting. They would have like, what the fuck? Now that it was close by the election, they're like, yeah, we're just going to be, we're not for it. We're just not going to say anything. Yeah, we're with, because we need this instability. So people are like, fuck this clown. Let's vote him out. You know what I mean? It's all strategic. Everyone does. So they're willing to sacrifice my well-being, your well-being for their ultimate outcome. That's what I don't like. Like they're willing to sacrifice someone's mom and pop shop for the ultimate goal of getting elected. You know, of getting a contract, stuff like that. That's what I don't like. I know that people are doing that, and that pisses me off. And then you have the complete opposite, which is, oh, well, if they're against Trump, then that means that he must be the good guy. He's a hero. And they talk about Trump like he's some kind of he came here from God, like he's divine. You know, like it's a cult. And like the guy from The Apprentice. Like, are we all fucking joking right now? We can't just say that people are people. There's a lot of dummies out there. We can't say the truth. It's either ultimate good or ultimate evil. Why?
Right.
How do we become this stupid?
He can't just be another rich dude who like wants more power in his own way. I think it makes more sense when you just try to simplify things a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I do.
You know, and not go into like this like it's got to be some vast. If you go on one side, it's like the Democrats are doing this, and then the other side, it's like they want to control us through that. It's like it's kind of scary. It's actually scarier than that. It's more chaotic.
Yeah,
it's insane. If you
there's
look at
infighting.
yeah, it's nuts.
The reason why that happened was QAnon did this. QAnon is like a conspiracy theory page.
Can you explain? Do you? If you don't know, don't get into it. But can you explain what QAnon is? Because I know that they said that YouTube, all the QAnon videos are going to take down. But what is a QAnon video? Was it a YouTube chain? Explain to me.
Basically, it's like a coalition of people who had recently awoken and saw the truth, and they started exposing some stuff like the pedophile stuff and this, that. But then it started getting a little insane. So the way somebody explained it that I heard is like basically they were regular people, everyday people, and they saw a bunch of crazy fucked up shit that some of them were real, and basically they didn't know. They weren't aware of this, and they kind of went into a meltdown, and they started uncovering more stuff. But like you said, like the lizard stuff, and that, like they get into all of that, but not all of it is true. So there's just like a coalition
of ideas
of people, and they're the ones that say that
Trump is the chosen one.
You know, like at some point they'll say like Trump is a FBI agent hired, you know, because he's the perfect. But
isn't the president higher than FBI?
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's
I don't
what
know if
they're saying,
logic
you know?
is their strength.
Yeah, like you know that he's been hired.
Yeah,
you know, to go like undercover and take down these pedophile rings. But then another time they'll say like he's the savior. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, which one is it? You know? So it's just a bunch. They're saying it's a bunch of people that form this coalition type of thing.
By the way, you know, it's such a coincidence. I never check my phone when we're doing a podcast. This new phone, for some reason, it vibrates too heavy, so I felt it. So I looked at it as if it was planned. Big Sexy just sent me, this is all I'm reading from the thing. Prepare for this. This is what is going to happen globally. God. World leaders are planning new lockdowns to introduce. So this is the kind of messages that I get on the regular from all kinds of people, friends, fans, whatever. And then you wonder why people are nervous and they're panicking when all this, like this is going, I'm not the only one. There's people out there, there's friends of you who are probably getting emails or messages being, we got to fucking fight. We got to do it. I'm not saying it's wrong. We might look like the idiots in a month from now. It might be real. But I'm just saying that brings more panic.
Of course.
And more confusion. It doesn't help the situation anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I kind of stopped talking to my dad also.
Oh yeah, your dad's a
'cause
fucker.
he was freaking out like that, man. He's like, I'm building fucking lasers, and I'm like,
Okay, can I say? You know what he writes in his. By the way, he writes in his thing that one of the things that was in that email, the leaked email, that he said.
Yeah.
He says that the World Debt Reset Program is going to include universal basic income, but it includes vaccine requirements. So you have universal basic income. You could go about your daily life, but you're required to take the vaccine, or you're not eligible for the universal debt relief or the basic income.
Where's this information coming from? Like, what? This is an email you got from who?
Let me click on
from
this.
what
Is
source?
look, this is a coincidence that this guy. Maybe everyone's just messaging me today. Fuck, look at this.
oh Jesus
Yeah, I
Christ!
can't read
That's
all
a
that.
lot. Okay,
It's still going.
it's a lot of
Oh,
words.
there we go. This is what's going to happen globally. So I don't know. I don't know if it's Canadian whistleblower came forward. So basically, it's probably a fake email, but whoever that person is sent it to a lot of, I guess, outlets, and people are biting on it. If it turns out to be true, I mean, we don't know if we go to elections, right? We could go to elections, surprise elections, the way the government is now. So if we go into like an election, the Conservatives win, then this wouldn't go through anyway. So I don't know.
Exactly, and also, like, there's only one whistleblower. Like in all this, wouldn't there be more people coming out about this?
Depends who's involved, who. But this isn't. Honestly, I can't tell you definitively. It does not seem true to me.
Yeah.
It does not seem like this is the broken link in the chain. Is some asshole in an email thread?
Yeah.
If you go deep enough in anything, the universe is a vast, insane. The internet is its own universe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And you can get lost just amongst chaos. You know what I mean? And then it's like almost like the more you research, the less you know. You ever gone down a rabbit
dude,
hole?
I've done that.
And then someone's like, "What'd you learn?" And you're like, "I don't know. I got to get off the internet. That's what I learned. I gotta go outside. I don't know. I gotta go for a run."
Yeah, no, I get it.
But there's some real conspiracies out there and some good conspiracies out there too.
Yeah.
It's just that I keep getting bombarded lately with this stuff that is like, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Let's wait a bit. Let's do some research.
Like the more time passes, the more I'm like, it doesn't sound like it's crazily out of the question, something like you said like that. Because there's been talk in Canada of UBI, you know, and there's also been talk of like mandatory vaccines throughout the
The only thing I haven't heard is universal debt relief. I haven't heard. This is the first time I hear about it.
That doesn't sound real. I don't know. The thing is,
well, it does sound real if it's this, the way it's described. I think that's why it is catchy. The way it's described sounds real because, like, yeah, I'll pay off your debts, but now you know that your mortgage, since I paid it off, I own the house.
right?
If it were to happen, this would be the most plausible way in the sense that, yeah, I'm not just giving you free money. Now I own all that, so you pay me rent, for example. Let's say it seems plausible, but at the same time, it seems crazy because wouldn't you expect there to be, I don't know, a civil war? Wouldn't you expect people to rise up and be like, I own my fucking house? Like, wouldn't you expect that?
That's a possible reaction. It's fucking. I mean, the States looks like it's on the brink of a civil war, regardless of that happening.
Philadelphia's
you know
always
what I
like
mean?
that. It's
You could probably say that about a few cities.
yeah. Another day in downtown Chicago.
Yeah. The thing is, like, you know, there's so many people that would need to be kind of in on something. Like when you say like this is a universal thing that might happen, like where are we're talking this is going to happen in China too, in Uzbekistan,
Well, China's already happening.
in Sierra Leone. They don't have UBI though.
No, they don't have UBI, but they have that social credit system. Have you seen that?
Do
It's like
they?
Black Mirror.
Okay, I know nothing about. I shouldn't have brought China up, but like,
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
I
I
don't
thought
know
it-
anything, but
Thought it was a joke. I saw a
Oh, yeah?
documentary on a guy. He was a fighter, and did I send you the link to this? I'll say this is amazing.
You spoke to me about it.
Oh no,
though.
it was Count Dankula did a whole mini documentary
yeah.
on him. He goes, this is insane. So this guy was he got involved in fighting when he was young. You know what the kung fu shit, whatever they do. And he's like, this is fake. So you know those old guys that just touch you and you fall down.
sure.
So he started to train in mixed martial arts. So he went out and he started one-on-one fights, beating the shit out of these guys. And then he started calling them out on Chinese social media. He's like, you know what, fucking K-Lay over there busting through cement. This is fake. I'll wreck them. I'll wreck three of them at the same time. It doesn't matter. So they're like, no, you can't say this. So some people in the beginning were so stupid, they believed their own hype. They went to fight him with their shitty moves. So he would just beat the shit out of these people. So then it started to be like counterculture. Like didn't like the fact that he was calling them out and he was letting people know that their fucking shitty fake kung fu was fake. So the government went against him and he went to fight some guy that then he beat the guy up and the referees gave the win to the guy who lost. So it caused a bit of an upheaval. He got in trouble. So the government, in order for him to, because he was insulting the culture, in order for him to be punished, he spent some time in jail or whatever concentration camp. But they also, in his social credit system, they put it down to a level where he couldn't buy or rent a home. He couldn't go to a hotel. You can't rent a hotel because it's based on your social credit stuff that you could do there. And he couldn't drive the fast trains or whatever. So this guy was essentially almost homeless. Like he got fucked. So someone finally agreed to fight him. And it was, I forgot how far away. It took him 3 days to get there because he had to take the shitty train in the back, like animals and stuff. So he gets there, tired, hasn't slept in 3 days, beats the shit out of the guy. And they asked him to apologize again. He publicly apologized for what he did so that the social credit could be reset. And then they let him get back to normal life. And now he's still out there. Like he makes but he's just a bit more calm on what he says. But he still tries to let them know it's fucking fake and don't fall for this scam. But point is, the government got so involved because they're like, this is subversive behavior. It's bad because, we're saying that we're the best and this and that. And they shouldn't learn UFC. It's, mixed martial arts is not real. Ours is real. And they fucked up his social credit system to the point where, just like in Black Mirror, he couldn't do regular things. He couldn't rent, buy a home. He couldn't go to a hotel. He had to take the shitty train. So, and that's in China, which there are way more people than us. And they're able to kind of institute this in specific places.
Yeah, it's a vastly different world than here.
It's a vastly different world, but I'm saying it's bigger.
Yeah.
So imagine here if they wanted to. I don't think they will, but I'm saying if they wanted to, they could do it.
Thank God we live here for now.
For now, until this place gets worse. Yeah.
Well, who was it that says? I've heard a lot of people say this. Look at China today, and you see North America tomorrow.
Don't listen to that. That's fucking scary. I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if that's to be accurate. Because then what are we?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Because again, with the conspiracies, there's a million different branches you can go on. But there's one
holes.
It tends to be like there's going to be that's the main thing is like we're going to have this one world government.
Yeah.
It's going to be all unified, and there's going to be something like that, maybe a UBI, and everyone's going to be forced to do all these things. And that's kind of the ultimate fear. But this is not this. They've been saying this for like 100 years.
Really?
You know what I mean?
And also, won't there be,
It's not a new idea.
Won't there be pushback? Again, let's say right now they decide that they get together, they go on TV, like, look, we're the 15 highest ranking officials of IMF, of the EU, we're in charge of the world, North America. This is what's going to happen now. You don't think that versus those 15, 20, 50, 100 people, you don't think that one country's military is going to be against it, our military, you don't think that people in general, fuck you. If everyone is against you, you think the whole world is going to bend the knee to 150 people?
Yeah, well, we thought that too, but as you see, also the cops in Montreal get hundreds of calls on.
Yeah, what I mean. Yeah, so okay. You know what?
There's so many stupid people.
You're making a great. You're making a great point because here in Montreal, you actually made a great point.
What are you guys referring to?
Here in Montreal, you thought that people would band together, right?
Yeah.
But in Montreal, the second the government said that we'll give fines to people that bring in a stranger in their house, apparently they got record calls of people ratting out their neighbors. This guy's having a barbecue with 3 people. This guy, that's not the mailman that went, and this is this. People are ratting out their neighbors. So people are willing right away to join the fucking Nazis, so that they don't get affected by it. So you're actually right. Yeah, people are gonna fuck you.
That's what worries me. Not
that people are stupid rats.
Exactly.
People round each other up.
You know what I mean?
They do the job for them.
Yeah, basically, that's what worries me.
Okay,
they've tricked people.
Excellent point. I'm with you.
That's what worries me. Not them actually. It's like
but there's a handful of Karens, right? You know what I mean? Like not everybody's Karen. Thankfully.
Yeah.
So, and there's just to get everybody unified in some way to fight against something or cause chaos. It's hard. I think because it's kind of comforting to think of like, okay, there's people out there, they want to control us, regardless of if they're lizards. It's the bankers, it's the IMF, it's the WHO, it's the UN, it's the Democrats. There's always these people out there. They want to control us, and they want to I think it's scarier to think that those people have no idea what's going on, and they're fighting amongst themselves, and it's way more chaotic. I think it's comforting to be like, well, this is the plan. They're going to do this to us. I don't think it's that simple.
There was another thing that was interesting that I heard about Bill Gates and this whole situation is that
he's actually Steve Jobs.
No. It's like
he's Paul McCartney.
Some people see it as evil, but in their head, they're actually doing the right thing for humanity.
That's Bill Gates. That's what Bill Gates said. Because
You know
they
what
had,
I mean?
yeah, even in that news thing, the clip that I sent,
Yeah.
he could tell he doesn't give a fuck because she was asking him, like, so all these trials that you've been doing with Moderna and stuff, like, 100% of the people that took it had side effects that was fucked up. And he was kind of laughing it off, like, hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So people see shit like that and it gets them mad. They're like, when you're telling the guy, you're testing this on innocent people and they're having bad side effects and it's bad, he's like, yeah, don't worry, it's par for the course. It's just how it is. Some people got to die in order for us to make. And when someone's so nonchalant with human lives, that lends itself to grow a conspiracy, because then you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
If he's so cool with a stranger's life, then how do I know that he won't do X thing? Or the same thing with Hunter Biden's laptop. I'm convinced that they didn't get it from a place in Delaware, like the repair shop. I'm convinced that it's just because they have access to everything in the clouds. They can't say, if guys like, yeah, we went in and stole this information, we could do it to you too. I think the excuse is we got it from that hardware store, they were repairing it or whatever. There's no way they were, like, the guy went from California, dropped it off in Delaware. Like, I don't believe that. I believe that they actually went into the cloud, went into his computer and took his emails and shit. And now they're just trying to make a nice story about it because it's too convenient. He left it at that store, then the guy called you on it. I think they went in. They're like, yeah, they have access to all our shit. When you're connected to the internet,
Sure.
you're open.
That's a very good point. And that's another reason where, like, I guess it makes me less scared of like a vast conspiracy and also slightly more terrified because I think we're there already also. Like this idea that like in the future, you'll see we're going to be just like China. We're going to be this and that. It's like,
We're there.
We're there. You don't own. That's the thing with the debt. Like, what do you really own? You own your house. The bank owns your house. You don't really own
If you're
your
paying
house,
more,
do you?
even when you pay off your mortgage, I've argued this too.
Yeah.
When you pay off your mortgage here in Greece, it wasn't like this until the IMF came in. But the second you pay off your mortgage, you're still paying property tax.
Yeah.
In Greece, that was the difference. That was one of the things they changed. If you had your house, it was paid off. It's your land. You don't
Right.
owe them anything.
Sure.
Whereas here, it's the same thing. Here, you're still renting the land. Even though you
Right.
own it, you don't really own it.
Right.
Which you're 100% right. They've already taken that right away from you without you realizing it.
Yeah, we're kind of there, and I may be speaking from ignorance. Like, I don't.
This all three of us are. All three of us are.
Especially me.
no, you Poseidon knows what's going on.
No, you're speaking from imprudence.
Extra ignorance, because I don't own shit. That's another thing that's just on a tangent. I don't own shit, really. You know what I mean? Once I decided, I was like, I'm gonna be a comic and like live the more fucking kind of starving artist lifestyle. Once the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm good. I don't own shit. Like, I don't.
Well, what do I own? Like my car, I lease it. So I don't own my car. Renting where I live, right? I don't own that. I don't own this place. It's someone else's building, right? So I rent, so I own all the equipment. I don't technically own anything either.
I barely own this shirt, dude.
Yeah.
I think this is my I think it's Sarag's shirt.
Just a rental.
Friend of ours.
He stole it from Sarag. We'll do a podcast, bro.
But how funny would it be? Like, let's say it's aliens this whole time, right?
It can't be aliens.
But let's say, okay, and
they're just fucking with us. This is a
they're
reality
just
show.
fucking with us, and everyone thinks it's this group and that group, and they're just watching.
It was
Just
the
like,
Martian group,
Look
dummies.
at these fucking idiots, you know? Like, we think there's these elite groups. Imagine it's all fake. Like, all of it. 100% of it is all fake. We're just...
What do the aliens look like?
I don't know. I didn't think that far. I just thought,
A
like...
good conspiracy would have ended with Jews. You would have had us.
That's what it comes back to, right?
Yeah.
Every conspiracy, it's like either some deep, like, it's all the Jews, but they're also lizards, and you're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. Jewish lizards.
Wait,
Everybody knows.
Are they lizards first, or are they Jews first? Like,
We
do
haven't
they-
determined that
we'll
yet. They
figure it
mutate.
out.
No, I'm just saying, like, how funny would it be? Like, everyone's accusing everyone of, you know? It's just everyone just...
Yeah.
It's just a huge clusterfuck of fuckery.
And the lizards are just like beaten off in the back. This gets them off somehow.
Look, lizards are not controlling us, but the alien thing for the past couple of months, I even talked about it on stage when we got back. Very suspicious to me because my favorite conspiracy, my favorite fiction was always space. I love aliens and I like time travel. Okay, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
The alien thing now, so it was far fetched. People get abducted or bullshitting, and a lot of it smells very fake. But then over the summer, when the CIA declassified, not the full documents, but whatever they declassified, and they let them go into the New York Times, and they said, yep, we do have ships that we've recovered that were built off-world. And all those accounts of UFOs that the actual CIA was declassifying. It's in the New York Times, barely gets any coverage.
Yeah.
Idiots like me were like, what the fuck is happening? Never talked about it again. So then I'm like, okay, hold on. At first I thought they're doing this to prepare us for something crazy. Like they know this, so we panic about this. And then they're like, oh, by the way, okay, COVID-19, it's actually super deadly. You're all gonna die. Like, they try to like shift us or prepare us for the eventuality of aliens, but then they never talked about it again.
Yeah.
So like, hold on, you just admitted that you have ships that are not from this world, and then that's it. The book closes there, where no one's gonna talk about it. No news, no nothing. We pretend like it never happened.
We didn't even flinch.
Yeah.
Nobody flinched.
We're just like, oh, okay.
For myself, and I'm so into this, all I did was kind of skim a headline. So like, and I was like, whatever, it's probably nothing. I'll hear about it if it's something, but I don't know.
They never talked about it.
They said ships. They
Yeah,
have
ship.
ships?
Ships from
just like material?
off-world, not this planet. No, that's why at first I thought it
insane.
was they found like a rock from the moon or some shit.
Right, because that's when I skimmed. I was like, it's probably that. I'm not gonna even.
They've uncovered ships, and then you have, remember the guy who was on Rogan, the guy Bob Lazar?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Okay.
And that documentary on thingy Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of the shit that he was saying that they said he was bullshitting, was crazy, is now coming out that the guy, like, they're describing it the same way he did. And then he said something crazy. He goes, they told me a lot of stuff, but I don't know how much of it he said was disinformation, just to either, if it comes out, they know who said it, or just to make me sound stupid. And one of the things they said was that they know that humans on this planet, it's a case of, what was it? Sped up evolution. What's it called? What's that word? Like something like sped up. They said it was like
Yeah, when like there's interbreeding, kind of like
Yeah.
the interbreeding between like an
Accelerated?
alien race.
I don't know if it was
and,
interbreeding, but
yeah.
apparently like they're the ones who
Accelerated
who
evolution?
accelerated evolution.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. They're the ones.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that
Theory.
concept.
So
Yeah,
he
sure,
said that's
sure.
what they told him when he was there working on that
Right.
legit thing, and he goes, I don't know if it was
Yeah.
they were trying to fuck with me. But then now that's what's coming out too, that apparently that's the main consensus, is that they're saying like, yeah, not only do we have contact with him, but also they were responsible for our accelerator. And I'm like, wait, so is this guy, was he right? Because the scariest thing he said, which was the coolest for me, and I keep saying this, is I want it to be a movie, is when he said, okay, so how, was this Roswell? Rogan asked him, like, where was the ship that you were working on? When was it uncovered? And he looks, he's like, no, it's from an archaeological dig. He's like,
Right.
wait, what?
Mm.
Our archaeological dig, so it could have been thousands of years ago that ship was like.
Yeah.
That to me, that's a movie.
Yeah.
That is a movie, bro. You know?
Starring Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah. And that's how it opens, like aliens, and then time travel. So that's cool to me because it could be a million. Let's say if it's 100% real, aliens were here, like, you know, fucking how many thousands of years ago? They helped evolve a fucking monkey here. Whatever the hell happens.
Sure.
Point is, that's a cool story.
They fucked a monkey.
How funny would that be if it's just a guy like
Yeah,
starring
some
Poseidon,
alien.
and he's like, guys,
I was hired for this.
I have a problem. So a little while back, I fucked that monkey. You gotta admit, she's a sexy monkey. Well, she's pregnant.
It would explain a lot in our. What if it was like this wasn't even like a planet they wanted to even visit? Like they saw this planet, they're like, this is bullshit. Let's
was just
stop
a
here
pit
to like,
stop.
yeah, let's
and
refuel.
they fucked around, and then we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, and then one guy
wait
went
a minute.
off, like the Poseidon.
The Poseidon of the crew, yeah.
like
But
when
I
you
do
ran
do
off
that.
in LA.
They just
He's
find him like this, like,
he's like, I fell inside of this monkey butt.
I repeatedly fell into this monkey's vagina.
And then what if that, and that was it, and they bounce, they leave, they're like, let's get out of here, let's get out of here. Don't tell the commander, don't tell the
What
commander.
happens on Earth stays on Earth.
And now they've been flying by, and that like,
Why do
we
they look
all-
like us?
Yeah, look, we all kind of loosely look like that alien plus a monkey.
Commander's like, you guys have some explaining to do. Because if they could travel at those speeds,
Yeah, they
in
all
that time,
fucked monkeys, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
That'd be amazing. You see, that's
you
another good
guys
story.
do
that's another good
that's
story.
a movie right
That's
there.
a movie right there.
But that would also explain deities to a certain extent.
Deities, I've heard this too, like the Olympic,
The
the Olympian gods.
Yes, not just Olympians,
The
but also the
Anunnaki. Are we
Norse
going back
ones.
to ancient Sumer?
Oh,
baby?
even
Yeah. I love talking about this
I love
shit, by
talking
the
about
way.
that stuff.
Yeah, me too. This is great.
Yeah, I love the Anunnaki.
Zachariah Sitchin, all this good
Yeah.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
know-
I've gone on deep rabbit holes.
I've heard about the Olympian gods that was never talked about in school, even in Greek school. They never talked about it, and I was like, fuck yeah, that
like
sounds.
Zeus and all those boys.
Yeah.
And all those boys.
No, but but there was something
Boys.
that-
Yeah.
super. Yeah, that's what they were.
Well, there's a couple of ladies in there, right? Athena and
Boys Club. Like, bring me some beer, Athena. But there's something very alien that used to happen that they described. Apparently, the palace was on Mount Olympus. Once a year at a specific time, the whole palace would get up and fucking fly off.
And just dip.
Yeah, and then come back. And when I was like, yeah, that does sound ship-like. Like in our modern minds, it sounds like it's not a palace. It sounds like it's a ship on top of a fucking mountain that gets up and leaves. And I was like, how come I was never told about this? But apparently an offensive to certain scholars, an offensive theory is that Greeks are aliens. Because there was a theory floating around. It's from the same probably ancient aliens type of off-breed.
Right.
That because when you look at the histories, there's an anomaly in ancient Greece where you kind of see the evolution of people and like, oh, look, they had sticks and then bam, and then this civilization. And then you have a weird thing happening in Greece where it's like flatline, fucking civilization. And you're like, whoa, what? That's not a regular jump. What happened? How did you guys do this? You know? So then they're like, aliens helped them. And the Olympic gods, these aren't myths. They just didn't know how to describe what they were seeing.
Yeah, isn't that insulting? Because like fucking Greeks couldn't do that. Those fucking.
Personally, I'm not insulted.
idiots.
I think it's a cool story.
Sure.
I think myths have always been people trying to explain things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't insult me. It's just funny when you're like, yeah, Greeks couldn't have done that, bro. It had to be aliens. I don't get insulted. I think
Same
it's
in
funny.
Egypt though, right? And like in South America, the pyramids, they're like these fucking.
You think these Mexicans built this, bro?
These guys couldn't have done it.
Can't build a goddamn fence. No, like it's
But also take, for example, like, you know those tribes that haven't seen any contact with the outside world?
yeah.
For thousands of years. They have some islands somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, I think, close to India, something.
Yeah, those losers haven't made any iPhones.
Now imagine you.
No, there was one island. Where the guy got fucking bow and arrow.
Yeah,
I talked about it on Rogan. Now I had brought up.
What's
Yeah.
it called?
Now imagine you take, like, you know how there's different types of soldiers. There's the sniper, there's the machine gunner, there's the explosives expert. Let's say you take a bunch of these guys. They're like 8 guys, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, bro, yeah, like that, all tough and shit, muscular. And they go and they just start fucking like, okay, bow down. And one guy comes with a fucking bazooka. You know what? Like the natives.
Like these are god powers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, to them, us, it's technology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like to think about these things. Like, it's kind of crazy.
It's very Stargate-esque.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's a cool idea,
know?
and that's where like the whole lizard shit I think does originate. The idea of that, like in ancient Sumer, they described the Anunnaki who like came down from the heavens or
From the
whatever.
heavens they came.
But I mean, that's all. It's a tough one because it's like every ancient culture has that coincidence,
Yeah, we always look up.
right?
But it's not. Here's the thing: I don't know any better either. Like when I was growing up, it was like, oh, it's a standard. It's the theory of evolution. We call it theory. It's not really a theory. You know, there's a missing link. And then now, as soon as I get older, like, oh, there's holes in that too. Actually, the reason why it's a theory is because there's a gaping hole which is now trying to be filled with, like, this is the missing link. It's because we were genetic. I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazier than the theory of evolution. That's way crazier,
It's all nuts.
right? Isn't it way
It's all
crazier than
nuts.
we're missing a link?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. That's okay. You're like, okay, that's if you think of an ape and then us. But then what's crazier is saying, you know what that missing link is? Aliens.
Yeah.
Like, that's even more nuts.
It's a little lazy too.
It doesn't
And it's
make it
also
more
just-
credible.
Lazy,
It's
yeah.
more holes. Like
Yeah.
it's less. The more complex you go with your theory, the more explanations you need.
yes.
So it's again, it's like, so they came, they accelerated our evolution, or like they banged one of us, and then they're just like, I'm out, and that's it. It was over. They came, they built pyramids for fun, and then never. That was it. Like
the pyramids
such
get
a
to me too.
weird-
I'm like, why would you just, like, what was this? And
For
why
what?
did you leave?
Yeah,
No,
they were
this
like,
was-
yo, we love triangles, make them big, and they were like, what? And then they just left, and they're like, all right, we're out.
I've seen even they adapted in the Bible where it talks about the Nephilim. They say that the Nephilim is a result of aliens banging humans because they go. So angels are not. Well, I don't know. Angels are not supposed to have sex organs, right? Or is that a Kevin Smith thing? Aliens aren't supposed to be sexual.
I don't know.
seen some
Lucifer, the
sexy-
show Lucifer taught me
sexy aliens.
something.
No, aliens are not supposed to be sexual. Like, they're not sexual beings, right? That's a
Yeah,
human
they're
trait.
like beyond gender.
Yeah, exactly. Something like
it's
that.
like a safe space.
Yeah,
Comedy
it's a
show.
safe space comedy show for these guys. But apparently they talk about in the Bible how the sons of God came down, aliens or angels. They saw the daughters of man, thought they were hot,
Yeah.
and basically took them as wives, banged them. And then because of that unholy union, they weren't supposed to bang regular chicks here. The Nephilims, their babies were giants, fucked up. They weren't supposed to exist. So I'm like, well, an angel, let's say if you're going spiritually, if you believe in angels, they're not supposed to be banging chicks. Right?
Again,
But then if I'm thinking of an alien, basically us, but from another planet, you will have the Poseidons who are like,
Yeah.
can I fuck that monkey? Like, you know, it exists. Like, Poseidon's the kind of guy that if we went on an interstellar mission and we found primitive beings that kind of look like us,
like three
If
tits.
we went to the zoo,
three
like-
tits.
if we went to the zoo, he's like, gonna fuck something.
No,
So-
not the zoo, not the zoo.
But, you know, I have him on another planet. You
I got
exist.
limits, bro.
You exist,
Bro,
right?
like I'd see like a diagonal vagina, I'd be like, Interesting.
Yeah. Did you?
How does
but
that work?
That's like, we should actually. I should actually see if we could get a budget to make that cartoon
That would be
of
amazing.
the aliens that came here and
Yeah.
fucked the monkeys and stuff.
Shit, I like that.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were probably just thinking, I wonder what all that hair feels like.
Something. Yeah, we're very. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something. But there's tunnels too. There's tunnels underground. There's weird shit. But then again, when we were bored, thousands of years, who knows what people were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Now we have video games. Back then,
Yeah, it's
Hey,
video
and
games.
sticks.
Yeah, video games caused the end of pyramids.
Yeah. Once Mario came in, they're like, no more. We don't need to move around rocks.
Yeah.
We just gotta jump on some Koopa Troopas. We good.
There's a lot of good conspiracies. Also, I like Nikola Tesla stuff. I've been reading about him.
Sure.
This guy was an interesting cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved one woman who I think didn't love him back, and he went past sex. He's like, I don't have time now to waste with whores. I'm just.
It's all about currents, baby.
It's all about currents, baby.
Alternating current. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. AC.
Yeah, and he had. He's like, we could share electricity wirelessly.
Yeah. Right.
What?
Right.
Like, you know how Wi-Fi signals are now, where you send
Yeah.
signals.
yeah.
Well, he was doing the same thing with electricity, so you wouldn't have to have all these wires.
Yeah, I've read that as well.
But in testing for that, he almost blew himself up repeatedly.
Oh, I'm gonna look into this shit.
Dude, Tesla, Nikola Tesla, I have his book too. It's an audio book too. If you want to listen to it on Audible, he's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting.
God damn.
They stole everything from him.
Yeah,
they left
that I-
him penniless.
That I knew,
he
yeah.
died penniless, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
invented so much of the stuff that like we rely on today, right?
Yeah, and the best stuff, we didn't get a chance because they fucked him at the end. They had just cut his legs off because it would have, I think, General Electric,
Right.
he would have screwed them over because the way they had set everything up was with Edison's. It's alternating current, and the other one is what?
Direct current.
Direct current.
Yeah.
And all their investment was that.
Yeah.
All the infrastructure was in that.
I've heard that as well. And
Yeah.
that like, yeah, it
It's
was
like, yeah, you don't need this. We're gonna upgrade. You can do wireless. You don't need this. Is dangerous.
Yeah.
And they fucking took his
Right.
legs out from under him. No money, no nothing.
Well, I've heard this from my father, but it's my father, so I'm like,
He's building lasers.
Yeah, your father's building lasers. Bro.
He's a modern day Nikola Tesla.
He needs an alternate current laser.
because Nikola Tesla is like an idol for him. He's like, this man was a
Okay.
genius.
He
He was. Your father.
Yeah.
Look, he's like a broken
Yeah.
clock. He's right twice a day. One was he was right for leaving. The other one he was. He's definitely right about Tesla. Tesla was like in our nearest generation, let's say.
Right.
Einstein was a genius too, but Einstein is just that his powers ended up being used for evil. A lot of it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, all these
into
guys, the bombs.
Sure, and the atomic bomb. I don't know if that was. I mean, that was his findings.
Oh, but it wasn't on purpose. No, he's one
Right.
of the guys that said, "I regret it because you're using it for this."
because other people took his formula and like
Yeah.
fucking and murdered a bunch of Japanese people with it.
Yeah, their intention. You know that those guys that were making the
What was their intention with it?
It was just to discover new technologies, harness new forms of energy.
Oh, okay.
That's why uranium, the way we use it, let's say for nuclear plants, that's what exists. It wasn't for nuclear bombs. The reason why it exists is because people were always looking for new source of energy, like maximum power with the fewest amount of emissions and fewest fuel needed.
Yeah, substrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So uranium is amazing. Nuclear energy is the best thing we have on the planet in terms of emissions and how much power you get. The problem is human error, like in Chernobyl, and same
Yeah.
thing with Fukushima. You know, I found out about Fukushima. Remember when the tsunami hit and that thing?
Yeah, of course.
You know that they hadn't built the specifications. Apparently, they were supposed to be, I forgot how many feet higher, so that in case the tsunami hits because of the water levels, and they just said, no, what are the odds it's gonna happen? And that's what happens, bro. When you cut corners, you can't cut corners with nuclear shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of. That's the thing. It gives you so much, but there's like all that potential danger. There's
Yeah.
and there's nuclear waste, which is inevitable that you have to like figure out how to store.
Apparently, now they're reusing. Did you hear about this? They're reusing nuclear waste
Oh, shit.
as a form of energy. Same thing in the nuclear plants. Like there's a half-life, and then you could reuse that and then reuse that. But it's only specific plants that are up to date in the States. That in the States, there's nuclear power plants.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I thought that
seen
was a
The
myth.
Simpsons.
Yeah, I thought it was a Simpsons thing. But nuclear is a real thing. Yeah, it's great energy. If we would do it properly,
Yeah.
and we'd shift to nuclear, you know how much we'd have the planet with just a couple of rocks is fine for years, hundreds of years.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of energy. in
You
that.
can harness a lot, yeah, and there's no carbon emissions.
Yeah.
There's water vapor, I think, as far as I remember from my.
There's no emissions. That's what they're because when he told me that it was Harry, the stock guy, who told me And I told him zero. It's nuclear. We're talking about zero. He's like, what are you talking about? No, there's zero. The cleanest form of energy would be that. The problem is the stigma around it. It's very scary.
Nuclear bombs.
Nuclear bombs and just nuclear fallout and all. It's just scary when you hear that.
When you hear nuclear, that's the first thing you think of.
And also human error. You got to be willing to put in the money investment to get state of the art shit. You can't just let shit leak and then you pollute a river and kill people.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
So, would you be able to power up a car with nuclear?
They would never allow to do it because it's too volatile, bro. You get to a car accident, you blow up a city block.
That's more than nitrous. Nitrous oxide. Tokyo Drift, Holocaust version.
That's what I mean. Tokyo Drift, Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Hold on.
You hit some black ice, mushroom cloud.
Yeah, you see, like a Park X has been wiped off the map today. Why? Poseidon slid.
Poseidon got a double from Tim Hortons and he spilled it on his crotch.
No, but like,
it's like your dad's a fucking stupid
but hold on.
idea about the airbags. His dad had the idea that why do cars have airbags on the inside? They should be between the panels on the outside of the car when you crash. But all that's going to do is make the car explode and metal's going to hit innocent strangers.
Oh, right. I see.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, but bear with me. Okay,
it wasn't his best invention. Yeah, I hope his laser works better.
Bear with me for a moment, okay?
Please. Yeah.
You said a few rocks could power up the whole planet for hundreds of years.
Well, I'm oversimplifying it.
Yes. Yeah. But then technically...
But you understand, by power of the planet, I don't mean you're going to get a rock. I'm talking about within the nuclear. So now we have hydro.
Yeah.
So within the nuclear power plant, let's say our nuclear grid, let's say everything here was powered. That's where we get the wires from. Instead of the hydro plants, we're getting from the nuclear plant. Instead of all the water, all the energy that we're in order to power all this, it would take barely any uranium to power this city. This city is a nothing compared to that. You get it compared to what we need.
Yeah.
So we would have stores of uranium. We'd be set for a super long time. Give us a couple hundred years to try to find a renewable source of energy, something, buy us time. Because right now, fossil fuels, the problem is buying us time, is that we're running out. We're not all the way there. I think we still have a couple hundred years left, but we're running out. It's the emissions, there's a lot of problems associated to it. So what this would do, it would give us a little escape plan. It would give us that gap, lower the emissions, clean up the air a bit. The problem is there needs to be a huge investment in these plants. Something unforeseen. Forget human error. What about an earthquake?
Yeah.
Look at Chernobyl, for example. Chernobyl, one accident, dude, fucked up the whole region. There was kids in Greece and in Italy that were being born fucked up after those clouds.
Yeah.
So it's very, very dangerous. You get it, and there's the precautions you have to take. So it's super powerful, but there's too much associated to it.
Risk to reward, right?
But I'm for it. I mean, I've invested in uranium. That's if uranium picks up, they open up a couple of power plants right now, and the stock goes up. I made it. So I believe in uranium. It's just that I understand if you're not prepared for it. Like, uranium is not for Zimbabwe.
Okay, I get it.
Like, you cannot, in countries like that where there's warlords and stuff, give them a solar panel. Like, you can't take chances with anywhere where there's too much civil unrest. Because one wrong thing, one rocket launcher, you could fuck up the entire continent. Fallout, too, It's, and it seeps into the earth. It's tied into a lot of stuff. It's very dangerous.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's the best. It is 100% the best we have.
There's so much, I think that is a conspiracy. It's not even a conspiracy, but going back to it's not unheard of, or it's not weird to think that people who have power want to keep power, and people who have money want to keep money. And I think the reason we still burn fossil fuels just comes back to that. Not a vast conspiracy, but it's the people who make money off that try to pass laws, and they line pockets so that they can keep their companies going, and we don't invest in renewable energies that we could use. I think we don't need to burn fossil fuels. We do it for economic reasons, I think.
Yeah. Well, fossil, you mean basically oil?
Yeah, oil, coal, stuff like that. It's not like we do it because we have to.
We do have to, at this point. The way we set everything up, we're beholden to, let's say cars. You can't just say, all right, we're not selling gas anymore. There's millions of cars out there.
But it's not, but it's not exactly. It's not a technological problem. You know what I mean?
Because technology exists without it.
The technology exists so that we could have, let's say, electric cars. It's just more of an economic problem, right?
Yeah, because even electric cars, let's say with Tesla, they started making them affordable. Then the issue was the longevity. Like a lot of people I spoke to were like, I'm not going to buy an electric car until it gets me Montreal, New York, single charge. Which, you have charging stations in between. Because even a regular car, I have to stop for gas between here and New York. So what's the big deal if you'd stop in between for...
Yeah, that's such a weird
charge
arbitrary
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Why not
Unless
just make
charging,
it here to fucking...
unless charging takes long. Unless
it takes like 15 minutes, not even 10.
Yeah, so it's not the end of the world either way. But I'm just saying, I remember my buddy was telling me that was what was stopping him. Then Mike ended up getting a Tesla, and it's a fucking amazing car.
Yeah.
So if you make those affordable, the problem is you have to redo everything. You have to upgrade everyone.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford an upgrade. There's all these industries where maybe they haven't built, I don't know, that we don't have a forklift that's electric powered yet. We haven't invented, there's all kinds of...
Yeah, it's a
people still use lawnmowers.
Yeah.
There's still stuff that... So it would have to be like a wipe the slate clean, and that can't be done overnight.
Yeah.
There's entire industries built on it.
Yeah.
There's companies that all they do is ship oil.
Yeah.
Containers.
Sure.
You
I'm
just-
sure they want to keep doing that.
Yeah, because
right?
overnight, all these people are basically unemployed.
Yeah, that will create a crazy ripple effect.
Of course, dude, the world would be fucked up for years.
Yeah.
For years. It would be fucked up. Yeah, okay, so you have electric cars. That's nice. But a good portion of your population is also homeless.
Yeah.
Right, but I think we should at least be moving towards that, because it's like the economy will be fucked up for years, but like the way we're going now, we're just kind of like we're shitting in our house.
Well,
kind of, you know what I mean?
I heard a theory from Alex Jones. Actually, it was funny. I think it was during the podcast with Tim Dillon.
Okay, good.
That he said that this, because they got to dig out all this oil that's under the ground.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I'm saying, you
this thing.
you don't cover
Yeah.
your face all the time.
Yeah. So this oil that they're uncovering from the ground is actually a good thing for the planet.
Oh, like the planet's sweating it out?
Because
It's good to take it out.
it's good to take it out and use it.
It's like a zit. We're popping the planet's pimples.
It's because it's creating carbon dioxide, and we actually need carbon dioxide. And then he went down a crazy rabbit hole that basically we're supposed to go through another ice age because there hasn't been one for 12,000 years. And the reason why they want to kill the oil industry is because they want to force a bit the ice age and want to reduce your carbon dioxide, and it's tied in with the coronavirus and blah blah. And he went off on a tangent, and he said that releasing this gas from the ground is a good thing.
But how is it a good thing?
Because it helps
technically,
keep our atmosphere.
if we lived here like the animals that we are,
Look at
we wouldn't have...
Doesn't sound right.
Do you see what I mean? Like if we lived here like
Yeah.
the animals that we're supposed to be in nature, we wouldn't have the ability... That stuff wouldn't come out of the ground. So how is that part of the natural
Yeah.
cycle?
There is a natural carbon cycle. Which,
that can't be part of the natural carbon cycle because that's something that we don't have access to.
Yeah, that's what it was talking about. Carbon, like we're all carbon.
We are
Releasing this
carbon-based life forms. That's
But
true.
again, see, that's exactly
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Give you this nugget of truth where it's like, we're all carbon. What do you... I remember that. I was listening to that podcast in the background while I was doing something.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know
know.
what I'm talking about.
He
What
was
he
just
said.
hammered.
Yeah, he was hammered. Yeah.
He was like, you're made of what, Joe? And he's like, I don't know.
Listen to this right now, Joe.
You're made of carbon. And it's
I
like,
love
okay.
him though.
Yeah, he's fun. He's very entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's like you take this idea. It's like you're a carbon-based life form. Okay.
That's true.
You take that nugget of truth and then you follow, and I give you a slight nugget, and then I kind of slowly go into like, well, you have to be burning the carbon or else the ice age. The Democrats want the ice age. What are you talking about? It's so weird. Like, why?
I kind of love that though. That's
It's hilarious, but it's like,
But how crazy is that?
I don't really buy it. I don't really buy it.
Yeah.
I think it's just like we were talking about, like people, there's this. I think the majority of scientists are saying we're increasing the temperature. Yes, it is natural. The temperature's always fluctuated, but we're like through our industries and whatever we're doing and the way we're running our society, we're increasing the carbon quite a bit, and it's warming the atmosphere. And these things are happening. There's that side, and there's the other side, I think, which is like, industry is everything. I don't really give a shit about how hot the Earth's getting, and I just want to keep making money. Those are two, and there's financial interest on both sides, and I don't know if it's like this vast conspiracy of wanting an ice age. That seems nutty.
well, so aren't we all fucked if that happens? Like, how are we gonna handle an ice age?
Yeah, who
We're
wants
all
an
fucked.
ice age?
Well, that is
Who's
basically the
profiting
movie-
off an ice age? Like,
The
what one world
dinosaurs.
government is? They can have a one world government because
The dinosaur lobby.
Well, don't you guys? Didn't you guys see they have this huge bunker somewhere in the North Pole?
Yeah,
It's like-
it's not a bunker. Just in case something goes wrong,
Yeah.
it has every seed It has strands of DNA of every animal.
Yeah.
So in case of a cataclysmic event, we can redo the Earth.
Fucking Noah's Ark. I've never.
It's basically
thing
Noah's
like
Ark, but
that,
it's in the North Pole. Yeah, it's a facility. Is it the North Pole or Greenland?
Who?
I think the North Pole.
It's not controlled by one government. I think it's many.
It's like a consortium. Of like scientists.
It's a fail-safe.
Fail-safe.
It's a fail-safe. Imagine the reason why everything gets fucked up is us. We fuck it up, but it's like a nuclear bomb that drops there, so even fuck up the fail-safe. The planet doesn't exist anymore.
Or even better, because this is another theory.
That's actually no, it's not a theory. That's a real place. You can look it up. It's not hidden. They've brought up on the news and stuff that's known, and it's just a cool fact that the one thing that we've done just in case we fuck things up worse than we have already, just in case. The Earth can slowly be repopulated as the same as it is now, in terms of species that are on it.
Yeah.
They have DNA of extinct species there too.
Really?
It's because stuff gets extinct every day. So they had the DNAs of certain, let's say, tigers or whatever in there, and then a month later, the last one on Earth was poached. Shit like that. Yeah. So they have DNA of stuff that you can't even see anymore here.
So let me ask you this, right? So let's say we managed to wipe out most of humanity because we're a bunch of retards, right? Let's say the humans that do survive, and end up somehow fucking finding this in the North Pole.
No. But it's not gonna. This is in the event that there's a catastrophic event, but a lot of us are still around and we're aware of it, and we're not talking about cavemen. Okay. Cavemen aren't. If the caveman thing happens, like what you just said, like we're fucked. Because what's gonna happen is just the way we're discovering the pyramids now. They're gonna discover that. They're gonna, who the fuck is this? I walked into seeds. I ate them.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about all these.
There's just vials of jizz everywhere. What's putting it under their eyes?
Oh, wow, this is very therapeutic.
They have no idea what it is. So no, obviously we could get to a point where there's no return.
Yeah,
we can get to a point where we fucked it up far beyond repair.
Yeah, it's possible. Who knows? Fuck. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think we're on the path.
That's why now you gotta live your life.
Yeah.
Try to do the best you can.
YOLO.
Yeah.
First of all, none of us is getting out of this alive, whether we like it or not. Anyway.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Hopefully. You never know.
people forget that. A lot of people talk like this is forever.
Sure.
Enjoy what we have, because this is going away. Look at how depressing we just turned the podcast. Enjoy what you got, guys.
We're all gonna die.
This is going away.
Everybody remember your mortality right now.
The Chinese are coming. They will take your soul.
But then it comes down to like, what if you do want to procreate, what kind of a place you want to leave for your jizz.
Once I realized if you really want to continue your lineage, you have to have 3 kids minimum.
Why? Because they're gonna die. 2 are gonna die of COVID. Or?
They better. No, it's because you're really not creating anything. If you just have 2 kids, you're just replacing you and your wife.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, if you really want, the second or third one hits, that's when you're really you're growing that empire. Now your lineage is continuing.
That's that's a good point. I've been thinking about this a lot though, because whenever you hear of a country who has like a negative birth rate,
a lot of them now,
right? But we always see that as like, what a terrible thing. We just gotta like, everyone just start fucking right now. You know what I mean? They're like throwing out porno mags and they're going crazy, lube door to door. I don't know what they do in Japan or whatever, but.
Tentacle porn.
Yeah, tentacle porn. Everyone get horny. But it's like...
They just give them pictures of octopuses.
Isn't that a good... Like, going off what we're just saying, like, we're maybe killing ourselves now. Yeah. Isn't that a good thing? A little bit? Like, we have... What is our end goal as a species? We have almost 8 billion people. How many fucking people do we want? Is the goal to just have humans just in every square inch of the planet? Like,
I like what you're saying. But I guess the goal is, I haven't thought that far ahead of how many years it would take for us to really take over the planet and then you're stuck together. I mean, we still have like millions probably of years before that happens. We have a lot of empty space. We just all live in the same areas.
Right.
But there's a lot of empty space on the planet.
But wouldn't go on.
Wouldn't we be consuming and destroying? I think you're kind of right. I don't think we need that much more people. I think we just need more quality people. So, like... what you're suggesting is to either sterilize or to just stop like the Swiss from banging or whatever, I'd be cool. I'd be cool with that.
One of those things. I'm
advocating. No, I wouldn't. I'm not for sterilizing. I believe in the rights of people to have the right to reproduce, start their family, have kids.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't like the idea of one-child policy, all that. At the same time, imagine just a shitty culture or a shitty family. Like, they're just bad. They don't take care of the kids, whatever. You want to have 12 kids outside that trailer park. Yeah.
How do we... How do you pass a law of like, no shitty, you shitty? We're gonna come cess you out.
But
if you suck,
that's the danger.
keep it in your pants.
That's why I don't think we should have a law for that. Because the second you allow the government to take that kind of control, then they can easily go from, I can't let Poseidon reproduce because he's human garbage, and him and his wife are just gonna have these shitty street thugs. We don't want them around. At the same time, they're gonna be like, well, also Wassim, he seems to like a lot of these conspiracies against us. He seems to have figured out that we're a bunch of cocksuckers. He shouldn't have kids either. I can't have him spewing that, and then those kids come and rebel against us. You get it? So then the line.
Oh, I definitely am not advocating for like a child policy or any kind of like, let's not. But I'm saying
I didn't think you were. No, I'm just saying that when I think about it,
could be what happens.
That could be what happens, because I do agree with. I meet people that I'm like, this guy should not have kids. You can't have this stupidity continue. But I don't want to dictate whether he can or he can't. I'll tell you my belief, but I don't want to dictate, because then it's a very slippery slope.
And you're playing God.
Yeah, and also you're playing. Well, you're not playing God.
Absolutely,
Well, yeah, you kind of are, no?
You're playing God if you abort the kid or some shit like that. But if you just tell the guy, look, bro, stop banging or put on condom.
Yeah, but let's
you're
say
not
he does
playing
have
God.
a kid and you decide to kill the kid.
Yeah, that I would never do, no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the kid didn't do anything, bro. Let the kid.
obviously not.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go kill a guy's kid, bro. You crazy?
See how shitty the kid is, though. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
I've met some shitty kids. I'm not saying we should kill them.
we wait till they're 5'6", and all kids have to be tested when they're 5'6" if they're gonna be good for society. We call it the Chris Benoit law.
Oh shit! If that was the case, I would have been dead as a kid. What's wrong with this?
Because you turned it without loosening it, so you're breaking the hinge. We've told
It
you
was already loose. It wasn't
loose because
me.
you moved it and it was
No,
straight.
this was loose from the moment I sat down.
Well, no, because then it would have left by itself. You pulled it without loosening it. This isn't rocket science. We saw what you did. You're on camera. We literally saw what you did.
I'm supposed to.
You get it? That's how you break it. That's how it doesn't, because you pull it down when it hasn't been loosened. You get it?
All right,
now
Poseidon,
it
you
works.
can't.
That's how you. That's how you
Oh, now
broke
it's
the
working.
mic.
Now it's good.
That's how you broke the mic that he's on. That's like, because you don't.
I didn't break them.
You did. You.
No, they're fine now.
We'll see. We'll see about that. Yeah, I don't know about what is the end goal, but that's a fucking good point. Like, if we just continue.
Because what's our my thing isn't like we should have some kind of law that passes over like you can only have 2 kids or whatever. It's more so what seems to happen is once a country becomes kind of industrialized or advanced, I don't know how you want to say it, like the Canada or Japan, Korea, countries like that, Scandinavia, it seems like people have less kids. You know what I mean? Like they tend to have less kids.
We get busy with other stuff.
Yeah, we tend to like trying to focus on quality of life versus quantity of life. And we see that as a negative thing. And I think it's just like, let that happen. If that's the natural kind of way things happen, it's like we get advanced, quality of life goes up, people have less kids. So be it. Why don't I feel like every time you hear of negative birth rate, it's like the worst thing. And why? Because it's like, well, the economy is not going to be as strong or whatever.
I think the economy, but then they open the doors to immigration. I think the biggest thing that could happen is culture. That's the real. They don't say that outright, but that's what they're worried about. They're worried about culture. They're worried about
immigrants coming and changing the
demographic.
The demographic, yeah.
Because that's 100% what happens. Like obviously, it's logical. They may say it in different ways, but that's the thing. Because if you're, let's say you're in Canada.
No, that's part of it, yeah.
Canadians who believe in the Canadian culture, they do Canadian things, stop having kids. And then you have an influx of pick X country. And it's just that. And they're having 10, 15 or whatever. Then, of course, the demographic is going to change over times. That's the fear that they come in, they don't talk about it. Hardcore nationalists talk about it and they're like, you're a racist, and then but when the the government has the ability to keep the economy going with immigration. That's what immigration is for, right? Like when Greeks came here, it wasn't because Canada was like, you know what, this place is missing? Greeks. No, Greeks times they came here because they made a deal. They paid our governments to send people over as citizens to help grow the economy, to take jobs and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what immigration is for. So I do get when the country, the government's looking like, wait a second, if we continue down this road right now, we have to incentivize them to have kids, or else the country that we're going to have in 50 years is going to be different. How are we going to run it? There's a whole different culture that's, So I do get that aspect of trying to entice them to have more kids, But then where does it stop? Like, then what are we dictating? Like, are they having families because they want to have families and it's good for their surroundings? Or are we going to have these broken homes everywhere because people had kids just because they were incentivized to?
There's too many brown people about.
Yeah, exactly. So is that the best reason to have kids?
Yeah, no, I think it's ridiculous.
That's the so you do make a fucking very good point.
Yeah, I think like, let's chill out. Let's focus on quality of life. Let's maybe let's stop with the fuck fests. You know?
Yeah. Are there that many fuck fests, Poseidon? If anybody would know, where are the fuck fests happening?
There's always fuck fests happening.
I feel like this building.
This building is going to be a fuck fest. We're taking over.
Something's going down here. I like it.
There's a good. That was a weird.
You got him thinking about fuck fests.
Yeah. I love how his saliva got. He's like, oh fuck fest. Oh, I got to spit on some.
Yeah.
It's fun because this building now is becoming like we're getting more and more comfortable in it, and this whole operation that you see before you, I'm trying to make it more of a community. Like I started his podcast with Guido Grasso, the intellectuals, two of the smartest men on the planet, refused to do that show. So I got the next best thing, two of the opposite of that, and I do the show with them. So I'm trying to get more people in, do their shows, and I want this building, this area here, to become like our podcast, little mecca for Montreal.
Talking shit. I like it. I like your vision.
It's a good vision because some people, they want to talk shit on their podcasts. Some people like him on the intellectuals. It looks like just a father teaching his son stuff. It's just Guido being like, how the fuck do you not know that? I've never heard of Justin Trudeau. And then, continues. So it's a lot of that.
You heard of the Anunnaki and the Nephilim, but not Justin Trudeau. I like
Dude, he's heard of the Anunnaki and Nephilim.
Yeah,
he had no idea who Julia Roberts was.
that. She is an Anunnaki, actually.
She might be one of the lizard
Could
people.
be an alien.
Oh shit.
So,
No, that's dope. But yeah. Sorry, go on.
Because we cut you off because I went into the conspiracy tangent. But how you been passing your time now?
Man, trying to have a little bit of a routine and not go insane. You know what I mean? So fucking work out every morning. Try to meditate.
What do you mean meditate?
I'm trying to
Become a monk?
I don't know what I'm doing. I wish I knew.
What do you do to meditate?
I usually put like a guided thing on YouTube.
Like it guides you through the meditation?
Yeah, it guides you. I haven't found like a perfect one yet.
Now start to meditate.
You need a good voice because some people are just too like they're too Australian or whatever.
Oi, mate!
All right, we're gonna meditate, guys. Take a deep breath.
Stay calm, yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. Take a
I
deep.
can't.
No, because then I can't. I laugh. I can't take
Yeah,
it. So like your goofy accent. Stop it.
I don't know. I'll put on like whale sounds or some gay shit. Some gay shit like
It's the sound of you eating.
that. No, I just try to sit quietly for a second, not go crazy.
But
you know?
meditation is different for everyone. Like, who's talking about this? Matthew McConaughey. His meditation is rather. It's not his typical like cross your legs type of shit. Like it's not like that. Like, it's different for everybody. Like some people.
All right,
You know?
all right.
That's a good one.
I get older, they stay the same age.
Like he was explaining. Fuck, I forgot what his form of meditation was, but it wasn't just standing still. It was something.
I hope it's
completely
having
different.
a row of supermodels blowing him. And Poseidon's like, dude, that does sound amazing. This guy's on to
I think you would
something.
achieve inner peace and enlightenment very quickly.
Poseidon's like, God damn, we should be listening to Matthew Mahogany. That's what he called him the other day. He's like, yo, I saw this
by
podcast
mistake.
with Matthew Mahogany.
Yeah, by mistake.
And Mike was like,
whatever.
did you say mahogany? It's a piece of wood.
That's fucking good.
Yeah, so it's different for everyone.
So you've been trying to meditate.
I try to meditate. I don't know. I try to sit quietly for like 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll put on a thing. Sometimes I'll put on no thing, or just like sounds of stuff like trees, you know. And like
Do you
a
need
forest.
sounds to go to sleep?
I need something, which is probably not good because it's been so long that I've been doing it. I need a podcast.
Yeah.
Or just like sounds of some kind, rain.
I've been doing that now for a while, and I think it's going to be unhealthy. Like now, every night I have to have some kind of audiobook or a podcast just to fall asleep listening to it.
No, I have to. It's like become I need like a white noise machine.
Yeah, what is that? Why do we do that?
I don't know.
What I love is the sound of rain hitting the windows.
It's beautiful. I'll
You mean-
have YouTube videos.
I feel
of
like
just
that's
that.
a healthy.
You mean as you put that sound on, or you like it when it happens?
No, you put that sound on when you go to bed.
Okay.
I feel like that would be like a healthy sound.
Well, it depends. Like, what if like there's some real knocking? Like, let me in. Let me in. Let me in. What would you do?
What do you mean?
if that's you hear the, the trickles
Yeah.
on the window, and then you hear, let me in.
I wouldn't be able to sleep, obviously.
That would fuck up your
Of
night.
course,
Eh?
yeah. Well, what kind of astle would put that on like a YouTube video?
I would do it.
Imagine,
There's
oh
I would-
my god!
I would do it an hour in.
Yeah, it's out there. yeah.
But I would let me, and then I'd yell so I know the guy wakes up, and then let me in, and then continue with the rains. Like, was that the
Yeah.
son of a bitch? I'm never sleeping again.
Well, you know what's weird about me? Like, I don't know.
That's a
I can
loaded
name
question.
8 things off the top of my head, but go on.
Like, I don't know about you, but like me, I could sleep through an earthquake.
Go let Tats in. He can. He's gonna tell you that he can sleep through an earthquake. So, look, I can sleep through an earthquake. However, when I hear the sound of the ghosts, I ain't fucking sleeping. I ain't fucking sleeping. Like he's gonna tell something new. This motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's very
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I wish I knew it. You're like, what does that mean? I'm like, I wish I knew what it was.
I don't know why
Meditate,
we need it.
But I think it's like you're constantly bombarded by thoughts. You're constantly like at least for me, I don't know. Your brain's always like trying to do something. It's
Same,
like think
same.
about this.
It's always
think
working.
about this.
Yeah.
And it's not always great. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's productive thoughts, but a lot of times it's thoughts that are like just negative. They don't really help you at all.
Tats, come grab a seat.
And it's just to clear your head a little bit. That's why I do it, to try to clear my head. I try to write a little bit every day. So I try to do that before so that my head is kind of clear. I'm not going in with like weird shit going on in my head.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Tats, welcome. Grab the mic. Get into it. You're on the podcast.
Oh,
Unexpected.
Hi.
This is good.
Hi.
Good. You made it.
poppin'?
Were you waiting for a long time?
Half an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I just saw the notification 27 minutes
I
ago.
think she's busting your balls.
No.
you really?
I swear to God, it
No,
says
I was actually.
it says
here.
27
shit.
minutes ago.
Oh shit. Okay.
I thought you were on it, Poseidon.
Well, I wasn't notified.
Yeah, I
was
didn't hear the
told,
bell.
No locks,
I didn't hear it
nothing.
either.
Barging on the.
Yeah, I
door
didn't hear the. Did you ring the bell?
twice.
Oh, because we have the headphones on.
Ah shit.
But I was like, maybe they can't get up or something. Anyway.
Oh, these
No,
are-
we can get
I'm
away.
here now.
Yeah, we.
Yeah,
You're
I
on
got
now
up.
though, so welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
You missed. We were talking about aliens.
Yeah.
We talked about
No, I was
meditation.
betting with myself. I'm gonna come in. They're either gonna talk about Greece, Trump, or aliens.
Aliens, you're right. Yeah, the Greece and the Trump, we didn't really care because it's so outdone. I mean, there was a big
I
earthquake
don't
in
care
Greece today,
either.
I heard
So-
that. Yeah.
but there's no reason going into the depressing stuff.
Yeah.
The Trump thing, I'm so tired of all the politics.
Yeah.
But the aliens thing, I don't know how that came
Never
in.
get tired of it.
I don't get tired, but how did that even come in today? The alien thing.
We got into conspiracies right away. Right?
I think you talked about David Icke, and then it just.
Oh yeah, we
popped
made fun
everything
of
off.
the when he was avoiding dodging
Yeah.
my lizard
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what popped
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
off. Just.
Yeah. I'm happy to talk about it. We can talk about only aliens for the rest of our
Does
lives.
she get mad when you do that? Do you go
No,
into the?
she's into aliens too.
No,
Into
I'm
the alien
into
stuff
it.
too?
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
into aliens. God damn.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you guys something that I saw yesterday too.
That's a little suspicious.
Have you heard of? Fuck. There was this guy. He had a cult. What the fuck was this cult? It was a big cult about
Which
aliens.
one?
Oh, was that the. Oh, never mind.
Moonies?
No,
No, that's the Reverend Sung Young Moon. That's a different guy.
you.
Raelians? That
No,
was in Quebec.
I thought it was the Raelians, yeah, but it
Okay.
wasn't the Raelians. It was another guy in the States. And apparently he had a cult that he told him that he was like the reincarnation of Jesus. He was a big sci-fi fan.
Sure.
And then they people joined him. He went around like a homeless guy.
Miscavige?
What? No, it wasn't this. It was a guy who looked like a monk a bit. He was bald.
That's most cult leaders, right? They're just
Yeah.
like, I'm Jesus. Can I fuck your wife, please?
That's kind of what he did. He got people involved, and then there was a comet
Mm.
that was could be seen from Earth, and he said that was this is a sign.
Mm.
Basically, on the tail of that comet, that's where the alien ship is. And
Yeah, it was Halley's Comet. I remember this. This was in the late 90s. This
Yeah.
was big in the news when we were like in
Yeah.
elementary.
and we have to. Is it Heaven's Gate? It's Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
And they all fucking, yeah.
Yeah, because he goes. The only way is we have to upload our consciousness to the alien ship because that's where we really belong. These are just vessels that we're possessing. So the only way is once the comet is over Earth, we can see it. We got to kill ourselves so that we can be uploaded into the ship. So all these people killed themselves.
In the 90s?
Yeah, they killed
They
themselves.
drank Kool-Aid, right?
That's
that
not
was
the one
spiked?
that they.
No, I don't think they
that's-
drank
That's
different
another
one.
one.
That's another one. They drank something too. They probably drank
many.
like bleach or whatever the fuck but they killed themselves. Except for some of them that were asked to not kill themselves, to stay behind, to maintain the website. And they still maintain the website.
What?
Yeah. So that future generation of aliens, when the comet comes back, they can also be uploaded. So there's people who stuck
They're
around.
still
They're like,
recruiting
Yeah.
people.
hey, yeah, they're still recruiting idiots. Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're
Oh,
still
that's
alive,
insane.
you're like, well, they made it. I see the bodies, but the consciousness is on the comet. They're
Yeah,
good.
prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
That's a
We
serious
still gotta
misbucket.
get the mailing list under order.
Yeah. When I heard that, I go,
T-shirts to sell.
"Oh, did they stay behind for something to maintain the website?" I was like,
That's fucking amazing.
imagine being that person. No, Deborah, we don't even want you in the afterlife. You stay. You're not coming to ship with us. You stay here and
Yeah.
you maintain the website.
Yeah. We don't want that
shit.
consciousness on our fucking comet plane.
What a shitty thing to hear.
Yeah.
But people bought into it. And it was like a couple that they were like basically into conspiracy theories and all, not conspiracy, but a lot of alien fiction. They love that stuff. And then they got into creating their own fiction. Then they started saying that they're whatever the fuck they are, the reincarnation of Jesus. And then they were homeless for a while, walking around. And imagine they were homeless and they were still recruiting people. Like, I'm homeless. I'm a bum in the street downtown. I'm fucking Jesus and we're going to be aliens and you got to give up all your worldly possessions. And you're like, fuck, that is convincing.
Well,
Yeah.
not just that.
That is, you got me, sir.
You still see that in the metro.
But you don't see people following them. Here you're like, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up, old man. Like,
Eventually, though.
But
Those
let's
guys
say-
practice enough.
But let's
well, we talked about this year. There was a bum king that my buddy Dano saw years ago. There was, you know where Metro Plaza Czar is?
Yeah.
There was a guy, like a bum. There was a lot of other bums in front of him sitting down watching him, and he was sitting in what looked like a throne, but it was clearly someone threw it out, like it was a prop that someone threw out, but he was sitting in it and just giving a discourse to other bums. And since then, we've always had this joke about the bum king. Like one day we're going to see him again. Like, does he dictate, you know?
Right.
And I had done a mini fake documentary back in the day with my buddy. He's in Sweden now. Going around asking homeless people. I was paying them money to get answers on the bum king. And then when I give them money, they fucking trick me. They wouldn't talk about the bum king. But he's like, there's no bum king. But the one thing I did learn,
It's a myth.
yeah, that's what he says. Like, it's a myth. It's not. There's no bum king. And then I said, so how does it work? Is there a hierarchy? He goes, well, a few bums confirm this, that there is a hierarchy downtown. Not a hierarchy, but there's basically you have your territory. And if you're a bum and you have X, Y, Z street, you can't go to some other bum street and try to panhandle. There will be trouble. So there's some form
Yeah.
of hierarchy. I don't know who decides who's getting which street. I'm assuming the bum king, but I have no proof. So take with that. You know.
I have a friend who used to like busk. He would play violin on the street and like put a change thing out.
Has
and
he met the
there,
king?
There was one of the minions, maybe. I don't know, the prince, one of the dukes.
the acolytes. One of the acolytes.
The Dukes of St. Catherine, yes.
I am the Duke of Discarded Subway Sandwiches.
yeah,
This
exactly.
is my street.
The Duke of Discarded Subway, yeah.
But yeah, what do you have to pay tribute to the king? You got to pay him
Maybe,
in like
yeah.
cans or
To-
whatever.
to have that street corner.
You got to like pay him like
Right?
3 Diet Coke cans a day, like empty
Like
cans.
gangs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's how I saw it, like a weird street gang.
Yeah.
God
Yeah, but
damn.
he was busking somewhere like downtown or NDG or something, and like there was a panhandler who was like, "This is my corner." He was just a panhandler. He wasn't like playing an instrument. He was like, "This is my turf."
What are you gonna do? Call the king?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is like there's something to
Sure.
it.
No, it
I
makes
think
sense. I
the
mean-
bum king, in all honesty, was a coincidence. You saw a homeless guy who there was a discarded theater prop who was sitting down talking to his fellow homeless dudes,
Yeah.
and then the
About
the
what,
mythos
though?
evolved.
Yes.
But that's the other thing is about what? What are you gonna do? What's the discourse?
He's probably
Let me
trying
show
to
you how
start
to make it in
something,
this
some
game.
kind of cult or whatever.
We need a union.
That's how Christianity
The
started.
union of bums.
We need a union.
Just
For
bums
what? We don't
recruiting
work.
bums.
The bunion.
The bunion. You know what? Not the worst joke you've said. Not the.
I don't know what a bunion is, by the way.
Isn't that like something you got on your foot, on your toe?
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
it's when your
Oh, yeah.
bone of your big toe sticks out.
Oh, yeah, that's what that is.
Bone.
I think because you have your foot and
Yeah.
then you have your big toe and then that bone before the toe.
Yeah, I know what it
kinda
is.
Stick out and then
it's,
your toe goes back
does
in.
it
So
hurt?
it's like,
Nah.
couldn't tell you.
It's
But I
thought it was like
I
a
heard a lot of
callus.
people.
Yeah, me
talk
too. I thought
about
it was like a callus or something.
Yeah,
I might
like
be
a-
wrong. I might be making this up,
Right.
but I
Blister
feel
or
like
something.
I've heard that.
It hurts. If it hurts, then I'm not for it.
But it's mostly old people, so I don't think it's just. Callus.
We're getting up there, Tats.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were just talking about
Yeah.
how we're not going to survive. We're none of us is getting out of this alive, so we should enjoy the time we have now. And we were talking about kids.
Oh.
What's your idea on the children? Do you want to have children? Do you believe everybody should be able to have children? Do you believe some people shouldn't go anywhere near having children?
Yes.
I love the general consensus is we'd sterilize somebody. Not everyone, but some people need to be sterilized.
Yeah. Yeah. There's way too many people already. I don't know. On one end, I'm like, the world's going to shit, so there's no point of having kids.
Yeah, he
But
brought that up.
I feel like every generation says that. You know, there's always something that someone's gonna get scared of, and so I don't know.
Yeah, I remember talking about ancient Greek philosophers. They were saying the same shit. Like, oh, this generation of the kids,
Yeah.
they're fucked up. What's gonna happen?
People had kids during the
Yeah.
war, like, you know.
I don't think it's that. I just think it's if there's so many people, we have a finite planet, and our model is an infinite growth model on a finite planet. So to what end? It's like more people. We don't have enough negative growth birth rate. Oh my God, go nuts. More people. And then what? We're just like we're just stacked on top of each other, and there's no more trees. And we're just
there's so many
snorting
orphans
bugs.
and, you know, people on the street starting gangs.
Like countries that are overpopulated now are kind of fucked. Like India, China. Like there's a huge gap between rich and poor. The
Get rid of China and India. I'm with you. All right. I see where you're going with
I
this.
like that you saw between the lines.
I mean, look, it is a dramatic turn of events, but I'm willing to hear you out.
Get the engineers and doctors out. Wait, that's a lot of them. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's not like if we looked at the countries that were severely overpopulated and like, look, they're doing great.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the top 2% are doing great.
Yeah.
But like the bottom 80 are suffering so
slums,
much.
like-
So is that where we want to go? Like, is that the end goal?
I don't want to go slum. I don't want to go China, India
Yeah.
slum. I don't want that. No, but I
We're
also
doing pretty good here. I think we're
Realistically,
right?
if
Canada.
like, we had kids, like, we'd probably be fine. I'm sure they would be fine. But,
as long as we had work, because
but the thing
now
is that if it is the end of the world, let's say, there's nothing we can do. So
I don't think it's the end of the world.
you know, it'd suck if it
then
is.
we can have kids.
Yeah, you know, it'd suck if it is the end of
We
the
just
world.
might suffer.
You know, you work so hard, like I gotta pay off my debts. Imagine you just paid everything off, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, it's over." Wait, what the fuck? Like,
Oh, I finally made it.
Yeah. like,
Yeah.
isn't it? Someone's gonna get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Someone's really gonna just make it, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a month left to live, bro. We're blowing ourselves up."
Yeah. Or it's like the talk about immortality. Imagine they discover immortality.
Right. Well, I've said this.
Imagine
There's
the
gonna be
people-
one last person that died.
Yeah. Imagine that last guy.
The last person on Earth who died before they figured out, oh no, shit, we can live forever.
Like 2 days later, they discovered.
Yeah, that would be, his family would be resentful for the rest of eternity.
Why was he gonna go?
You know what I mean? They'd be like, God damn it, Steve could have made it.
Yeah, and imagine it would, like he killed himself. That was he was like, I can't live forever anyway. I might as well just. And then 2 days later, like, oh shit.
But I mean, I think I would.
Kill
Let's say
yourself?
you're the last person on Earth.
Oh, no. What we're saying is, let's say it's fine like the way it works now, but they find a way that you can live forever. Everyone can live forever. But right before that's announced, you don't know it's going to be a possibility. You're so scared about the future. You're like, I don't want to die. You kill yourself. Then 2 days later, it's announced,
yeah.
we could all live forever.
Yeah.
That's the last person that dies is going to be.
You'd never live to see the
Yeah.
irony, at least. You know?
Yeah, it was very ironic.
What if your like consciousness uploads to the
I was
nearest
just gonna
star
say
and you're
that.
like, oh, no! Now you're just floating through space with all these idiots. All these fucking cult assholes.
Yeah, we're all in togas. Why are you wearing togas in space, guys?
The leader said we should.
No, I don't. Do you think there's gonna? You know how you said, "What if you're the last person on Earth?" So if you were the last person on Earth, you'd kill yourself.
I mean,
Think of all the animals you could fuck.
I'd ride it out.
I don't know. I don't know for how
fun.
long though. Not right away. Like I need confirmation that there's no way.
How would you get that though?
I don't know. Would
One
you
dog
like
barks loudly enough. You're like,
It depends what your resources are.
Yeah.
Because if you're
Where are
stuck
you?
somewhere, like where are you? Maybe everyone, maybe
Yeah.
you're here and you're like, I'm alone, but everyone's in South America, like Brazil's still chilling. They're still dancing away.
Yeah.
having raves and stuff?
You're gonna
Yeah.
figure out how to fly a plane and get out there.
They're just like, oh, fuck, everybody in Canada just died.
Yeah,
Shit.
he's like, I'm the last
Yeah.
person on the planet. Meanwhile, in Brazil, like, cha-cha, da-da-da. Crazy.
They're shaking asses,
Guys,
having
yeah.
crazy orgies.
What?
What?
Like, what I meant was Brazil wouldn't be affected. So right now,
I know, I just went
you
there
know that
'cause
they're not
But
just
how
having
would
crazy
you find
orgies.
out though? Like you
That's-
would walk forever and hopefully find Brazil.
So that's why I think, would you try to build something yourself there and survive, become a hunter, adopt a dog?
Yeah. Adopt a moose while you're at it. Fuck it.
Yeah, what
Learn
do you-
to
Yeah,
train all the
exactly.
animals, you know?
Imagine thinking,
Become the bum king of your own kingdom.
because what we said about the aliens before you got here, about like the alien that, if we came from aliens, like one alien that like Poseidon's, he's their Poseidon, and he's the one who fucked an attractive monkey, and that's how we
Evolved,
evolved.
yeah.
So imagine you think you're the last person on Earth. It's like, I gotta test some stuff out here just in case.
Yeah.
So you're
And
out
then
there
you start
fucking
a
monkeys and
whole-
stuff, and then someone discovers you. They're like, no, we're like we were 20 minutes away, dude.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of us.
I fucked like 6 giraffes, guys. Like you could have come sooner.
Oh, that's complicated.
We could see you. From
We repeatedly yelled for you to come across the fence. You're like, I thought that was the giraffe asking me for sex. I was confused.
It's very confused.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
giraffe pussy.
You've come up during this podcast. I think we've had great ideas for cartoons. I got to find a resource that can make this into cartoons because both the original Alien and that last man who thinks the last man, both are great cartoon ideas.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. I need to find somebody who does animation. I don't know any of those.
John.
He's a cartoonist. He
He's a
can draw
cartoonist.
you some stuff.
You could draw, but I need
Yeah.
an animator, someone to animate it.
Oh.
It's like a cartoon, like a show, like we do the voiceovers.
Yeah. I like it.
Let's see if
That's
any of the
fun.
fans hit me up if they know people. Because sometimes that's how I mention something and then that's
Sure.
how I get it done.
Sure.
Someone messages me like, "What are you talking about? I could do that, stupid."
I draw dudes fucking monkeys all the time, baby. I got a flip book. Look at this.
Funny you should ask,
Yeah.
sir. And it's just videos of 3D monkeys getting fucked. It's like, oh, were you inspired by the podcast? No.
Yeah.
I was inspired by the monkey itself.
My trip to the zoo last year.
A lot of people fuck monkeys, you think?
At least one, right?
Probably sheep and goats.
Sheep and goats get fucking rattled. I know that.
There was
Yeah.
that Vice documentary.
Don't ask me how I know.
Is that a known thing?
It's a known thing. It's a known
Okay.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
for
I
sure.
just, I
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't know.
Mountainous regions,
Yeah,
Greece,
mountainous
Italy,
regions.
Arab countries, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's these old
Really?
shepherds that don't get ass. Yeah, and they
Yeah.
bang sheep apparently. Which, if you've ever been near a sheep, you can't comprehend how someone gets erect.
It's smelly.
It smells like shit.
You think that turns them on after a
Gotta
while?
do what you gotta do.
No, but also
impossible.
you get so like
Maybe I guess.
But I mean, imagine like during the times of France. Remember when they used to throw shit out of their buckets and they thought they were so fucking up? Anyways, whatever.
you
Everybody
just hate the French.
Wait, what?
I think that was all of Europe, though.
Are you? That was Northern Europe. They didn't have aqueducts and all that stuff.
French, Northern Europe, same thing.
Can you expand on that? Where did they throw their shit?
So
Out of the window.
Yeah, they would.
England and France.
They used to throw their shit out of the window.
During
but
the
this
medieval
was
times.
Why didn't they shit outside?
just because they had their home, so they could shit in the home, and then they shit in buckets, and then the
Because you're in the
buckets.
city. You're
Yeah,
not
you're in
gonna
the
shit
city.
in the streets like an
Yeah.
animal.
Oh, I'm thinking like Renaissance times. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but they would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Middle
they-
Ages.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
because the aqueduct, like we take it for granted, that was a southern European thing
Yeah.
that was around for thousands. So Greeks had plumbing, Romans had plumbing. The North didn't. It wasn't part of until the Romans got there and started showing them some shit. So they would throw shit out the window, feces. So you could be walking down the street and get splashed by someone's piss that they threw out the window.
Yeah.
So were you talking about that? Yeah. How do they fuck then? You're saying?
Yeah, exactly. That was my next
Oh,
thing.
and they smelled like
Because they didn't shower.
No, they would shower
Yeah. I
like
think
once a year.
You get so accustomed to your environment. Like as a shepherd, right? Like imagine, what are you gonna jerk off to? You don't have fucking internet. You don't have LTE, 4G. You don't have porno magazines. You don't have that. Eventually,
You just
you're
got
gonna
one sexy sheep.
Eventually, you're gonna get
Who
erections.
was asking for it, Your Honor?
It goes
The way
back.
she went bad. She meant yeah.
Oh, she was a bad girl. Yes. But you know what I take for granted that I keep in my head? I think, the ancient times. I always envelop everyone in Europe as if it was Greece. So like when I heard that too the first time, whenever I heard, I go, "What are you talking about? They used to shower all the time." And because we were talking about, I'm talking about university, we were talking about England. I was like, "What are you talking about? They would shower all the time." He's like, "Who told you they would shower all the time? They wouldn't shower." I go, "What the fuck? I thought they would shower all the time. They had plumbing." It's like, "No, they didn't, you dickhead." Because I would keep thinking about Greece and Italy. But it wasn't
Yeah.
like that in the north.
No.
For years, they didn't have that stuff.
No.
So they lived a completely different lifestyle. And in me, it's hard for me to get it in my head. Because I'm like, why wouldn't they shower? Why wouldn't they go down on the beach? Why wouldn't they do this? Like, they didn't have any of what you're talking about. Like, that's not what they lived in. They lived in.
And there was a lot of insults in like Shakespearean times. I remember like I took like a Shakespeare class when I was in CEGEP, and there was so much stuff that I didn't know when I was reading it in high school that was like references to people tossing shit. Like there's one which you think you read it and you're like, oh, that was a nice poetic line, but like the translation of today is like, I'll fucking eat the shit that they threw at you and like spit it back in your face. And you're like,
I've
"What?"
heard so. Yeah.
God,
Like
damn.
there's an expression saying like I'll take the wall. There in the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, some guy says like I'll take the wall to any Montague or something, which means that if I'm walking down the street with a female of that family, I will stay next to the wall and let her
Not
be on
get
the
shit thrown
outside.
on her.
No, I'll let her get shit on her. It's an insult. Saying I'll take that was a huge insult. Saying I'll take the wall to somebody means when we walk together, I'm gonna be at the wall. So when they toss the shit, because it's not gonna just drip down the wall, right? I guess they get some velocity. And the shit goes,
Depends
there's a
on the
parabola, there's an
density,
arc.
I
Yeah.
guess.
This is all very mathematical.
Yeah.
You don't want a diarrhea bucket.
An arc. Get an arc going.
Yeah, you gotta get an arc
We don't
going,
want it too
right?
close.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh my God, I'll take the wall. That's what
I'll
it
take
means.
the wall was like an insult saying like I'll let you get splashed with shit.
I thought it was. It sounds like kind of a compliment. You know how you'd say like
Like I'll climb a wall for you.
yeah,
That's what I would think.
something
Yeah.
like
But apparently, in
Total opposite.
gentlemanly England, whatever etiquette, when you're walking with a lady down the street, you're supposed to be on the street side, and it comes from the days when people would launch their
Really?
shit.
So you can
it's
take the
Oh
shit.
man, I thought
Yeah,
it was 'cause
exactly.
you wouldn't get splashed. Let's say.
Yeah,
there's
from a car.
out front. Yeah.
Probably
Me and
both.
you, we think about the wrong time. Me too. Modern time, I associate it. Same thing when I think of ancient
Yeah,
Europe. I always think of
splashed
Greece.
with,
So
Yeah.
hold
right?
on.
You're getting splashed with people's shit that they
Hold
threw.
on. I have a few questions. So hold on. Everyone just walked around with shit on them the whole time. What kind of fucking world was this?
Different world. I'm telling
What
you.
kind of world?
Different world.
And then, like,
Yeah.
what if the streets were very narrow? What if you took the wall so you don't get shot on, but then they're so tight the streets that the other guy from the other building throws out shit and he gets enough velocity, but you still get shot on? Like,
It's not an exact science.
It's not an exact science. Like sometimes you're gonna take the hit.
Can we talk quantum physics?
Sometimes you're gonna take the hit. But you see, for all our shortcomings back in the day, that's the one thing we had that we're good at. We wouldn't
Yeah.
get shit on.
we like being clean people.
But no, it's not liked. It's just that you had figured out the plumbing situation
how?
before other people because we had free time. How do you think the inventors back then, the philosophers did it? It was because of free time.
Yeah, and we
It's
had
also warm, right?
Yeah, it was warm. They were
Yeah, you're
outside.
right.
They had
Nice weather.
slaves doing the. Bro, it was free time.
Oh
Free,
yeah, slaves.
yeah,
that
yeah,
helps.
it's free
Slaves
time.
do help.
Yeah, free time changes everything. That's what it was.
yeah, but you go a little more north. It's cold. You gotta scour to make shelter. You know.
Yeah, but even Greece, even northern, let's say,
but I mean,
let's
like
say
Northern
Macedonia,
Europe.
for example, it's not Canada. It's not. It's in the winter. It's cold.
Yeah.
But it's not a year long. Oh my God, frigid. It's not like that. It's a whole different. The climate is different. Plus, where it evolved, the philosophies happened all near, like we're talking about Mediterranean, like inside the Aegean.
yeah.
That's where it happened. They had nice weather. They had free time. They're there in their they had time to analyze, think about things. When you have time, you think and you do things. That's the biggest problem now. People can't think is that when you're working paycheck to paycheck, we had discussed this.
Yeah.
You're always thinking of the next meal. Shit, I gotta pay my rent. I gotta do this. So simple stuff gets past you. Stuff that you could invent. Some people they're really really smart and they don't even know it
Yeah.
because they're busy. They don't have time to sit there and really expand on ideas. You're just and they didn't have that problem in ancient Greece.
Yeah.
It's an advantage that you can't replicate. Now when people have that advantage, they use it to eat. They're just fucking. They don't give a fuck, right? They jerk off and they're gonna play video games all day. Back in the day, that didn't exist. So you had the free time. You're like, let me fucking calculate how far is that planet from and that's how they did it. They weren't super geniuses. They just had free time.
Interesting.
What did you think it was? You thought it was like aliens that intervened or
No,
insight?
no. I just thought, like, how the fuck?
It was
I
free.
don't
You think they could have come up with all that without technology, all those calculations, without free time? If they were busy, they had to go to work every morning. They wouldn't have the time.
Yeah, you roll out of bed, look at some stars, fuck a few goats.
Yeah, you just calculate. You're like, I think it's because of free time. They had time to debate and go through
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, get that post nut clarity. After
What?
fucking a sheep. I mean, like, in the. I did get the post nut clarity.
Comes inside the sheep. Was like, I should have never done that, Betsy. I'm very, very disappointed in myself. Yeah, no, but that's what it was. It was free time. So, and then after in the industrial age, let's say in England, people were working like dogs.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of. It's whatever the government, whatever they would give you. You know what I mean? Like that's what you had. There was no. I'm gonna build a fucking. What are you talking about? I gotta get to work. Go in these fucking companies that are killing me, and hope Jack the Ripper doesn't kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Sounds like a terrible time to live. Medieval England.
Yeah, it sounds fucked up.
God. Just
Yeah.
covered in dirt, feces. You got that stupid wig on.
Oh yeah, back then. Yeah, I was thinking the industrial age. Yeah, fucking
Oh,
Shakespeare,
that too,
medieval.
like,
yeah,
like Charles Dickens times. Though that
yeah.
doesn't
It's all
sound great either.
disgusting. It
Yeah.
all sounds.
Sounds horrific.
We
How did
really-
those fucking fucks take over the whole world?
That's how they
Those
wanted to
dusty,
leave. Like,
pasty-
I'll go
Yeah, exactly.
anywhere. I'll go anywhere to get the fuck out of there.
It's
Yeah.
fucking yeah. No, but that's what it is, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
the lack of resources, and they were like, "Fuck it, I got to go to India and slap some people around."
Yeah, I'd rather like you've never been to India. It's not here, so let's go to India. And then when they ended up here, they're like, even this, I don't know what this is. there's people throwing arrows at me, but I'm not home, so I'm gonna fucking stay here. I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
Because there's people throwing shit at me back home.
Imagine how bad it is. Like how tired of getting shit thrown at you. How tired you must be that you get arrows coming at you. You're like, you know what? This isn't so bad.
Yeah.
There's no shit on any of these arrows, guys. None of these arrows are covered in feces.
They look clean. Yeah.
It's fucked up when you think about it. Free time changes everything.
Yeah. I mean, we're going through that now with the pandemic. But again, now it's like we have so much distraction.
Because we have free time, but restrictions. You're not free because you made it. You know what I mean? Like you have enough money. You could think. We're free now because like you're not allowed to work. And then you're like, okay, that's one thing. But then I still have to pay rent. You guys are aware of this. I got to figure something. You know, so you're still that struggle now. Now you're just trying to circumvent the system. You're like, well, how do I still make money? How do I do? Right? So you're still thinking about other stuff. It's not real free time. Like you're good. Your conscience is calm. Where you could really think.
Yeah, because there's uncertainty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Is it
Yeah.
going to be? Are we getting chipped? Is Bill Gates coming to my house?
Yeah, there's too much stuff going on the online. You worry. If you put on CNN, it's civil war is right around the corner.
They take advantage of that too, for sure.
Yeah, because people
if they
click
told
on that.
us, like, let's say they told us in March, for the rest of from March to December, you're gonna stay home. Your rent is covered. You can do whatever you want. I think it'd be way different than like we'll see in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In case you know.
Yeah.
Now they keep you panicking. You're right. They keep you on a little string. But if they did that, they go, look, this is instead of putting the money in these other stupid programs, this is where the money's going. The rent subsidy, so that landowners actually get paid, so that they're not unemployed. You know, and your food is covered. So for the next, you're all fine. You know, just figure it out. Stay in as much as you can. Then you have time. Like, okay, I have till December. Everything's paid anyway, so I don't have to. Let me think. Let me figure stuff out. But instead, it was 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks. So everybody was panicking.
Yeah.
They're like, so am I unemployed? Am I not employed?
Way.
It's still that way. That's why people now here, especially, like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? You told me to go back to work in 2 weeks. I went back to work for 3 days. You called me back home. Now you want me to back on the government plan. Then you're like, no, you work too much. Get off the government plan. Do this. You're making it scary for people.
Yeah,
They don't
it's a
know
shit
where.
show.
Yeah, they don't know where
It's
their
so
money's gonna come from.
confusing,
Yeah.
Fuck, we could have had a Renaissance 2.0 and they fucked it up.
I don't think we could have had a Renaissance 2.0. Well, there is the overwhelming problem of mass illiteracy and idiocy affecting us. So that's going to be an issue. I'm fucking with you.
I know, it was a joke.
Not a Renaissance 2.0, but I think freedom.
We'd get some really good Call of Duty players, I think. That's it. We'd get those 12-year-old Korean boys would get a run for their money all of a sudden. And I think, I don't know what we're sitting, what am I going to sit home? And I'm talking for myself.
Yeah.
I have free time now. I'm sure
But
I'm writing.
But
what
you're
am I-
sharpening up the skills that you want. So you're writing, you're doing stuff that interests you. Her, for example, when she was talking about the online training and shit, right? That's still ideas that if you sit down and you think about, that's where they're going to come from. You're like, okay, well, how do I get out of this mess? Oh, wait, I still have the internet. People still want to get fit. People still, you know? So you come up with this stuff. But if you're just in that hamster wheel, you never think of the simplest things. You never think of taking the extra plunge because it's impossible. You're like, well, I can't. I don't have time. I got to go here to collect this. And so the free time helps. It could be your future business comes out of it, or you discover something. I keep seeing little kids discovering shit. Like I keep reading about these news about, oh, this student like in Greece won this award. Like, where did this little girl find the fucking time to study this shit? Like when I was that age, I was like watching cartoons. But she's like, no, my free time I'm going to spend it doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's advantageous if you don't have rent or anything else to
No stresses.
to pay, but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't have rent back then.
you're free of time, but not free of your shackles.
Your obligations. Oh,
But it reminds me. Oh, go ahead.
no, say what you're going to say. Mine was going to be stupid.
Okay. But I've been watching this North Korean defector channel.
Oh, shit.
And she was talking about freedom and what freedom means to her. And because she comes from North Korea and you have no freedom whatsoever, she was talking about how choices are her freedom. Like now she can choose what kind of haircut she wants and like what kind of colors she likes and what kind of hobby she likes. And she's like, I'm free now. I could die tomorrow. I've experienced freedom. And, you know, those are all things that
It's relative.
we all, exactly. We all take for granted. I'm like,
Super
of course I'm
granted.
going to choose my hair, but
Yeah, you can see the haircuts too. They choose. I went on. I'm obsessed with
Korean
with
haircuts?
with North Korean haircuts.
but they're really, I
It's
guess,
very-
80s.
It's like a mullet. If you're a married woman, you got to have like a weird mullet, 80s mullet with like a kind of poof on top.
Oh, like they have the standard?
Yeah, there's like
there's
three
like
haircuts,
10. No, there's like 10 for guys, 10 for girls.
but they all kind of
What?
look the same.
Yeah. one has a little bit more of a toupee looking thing, and like
Oh, it's like some kind of weird
it's
video
never
game.
longer than here.
They're all like NPC characters in the video
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bowly.
What is
Cool.
that?
No, it's wild.
So you have the choice between these 10 haircuts.
Yeah, exactly.
And they all
it's an illusion.
kind of look the same.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense.
No, it's a wild place, man. I don't know if you've ever delved deep into like researching what North Korea is like, but it's
God.
it's the most nightmarish place. Well, I'm sure there's more.
One of my friends went there. He wrote
It's
a book about it.
relative again.
Really?
Yeah, Michael Malice. He wrote a book about, and he's like
Yeah,
my.
I've heard of him. I've heard
Oh,
of him.
think you
Malice is a
told me
super
about
cool
it,
dude.
yeah.
Cool.
And he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's my authority on
Sure.
North Korea.
Sure,
you know?
sure. No, I've listened to him speak about it before, actually.
And he went as an undercover or as
No, he
a
went as
reporter,
himself.
or-
No, he went as himself.
He's
and he-
Canadian?
no, he's not Canadian.
Okay.
He's I met him in New York. He's from New York now. That's where he lives, New York. I remember he came here. We
He has
did
an
2 drink
American
minimum.
passport.
Yeah, he's American. Yeah,
He went there.
You can.
You can. You can.
There's ways around it.
yeah. He has this whole. His book is good, and he's entertaining too because he likes trolling people like online. Like he doesn't take himself seriously at all, so he fucks with everyone. But his stuff, he had come to 2 drink minimum when he was in Montreal, and me and Mike were like, "What is happening in North Korea? Like it's like another. It's like you get teleported to another planet,
Yeah.
but it's miserable what they make these people go through. Miserable.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I'm curious. I'm scared, but I kind of want to see it a little bit.
I'm scared to go down. I
don't
talk
know.
way
No.
too much shit.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I can't go there or Saudi Arabia, Qatar, places that I talk way
You
too
don't want
much
to go
shit.
there anyway.
No.
I don't think you're missing much in those places that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're missing much going to North Korea.
No, I
Like,
guess you
can
get it from
imagine.
watching the stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like it's so eerie that I almost want to just peek in quickly and like. But I wouldn't do that.
I want to go to
scared.
South Korea.
South Korea. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Korea
had the
looks
chance to
fun.
go to North Korea when you were in South Korea. Did you ever think about it?
I
Did it ever?
I
But
was
you
almost
can't
gonna go.
cross.
I did. No, but you would
as
go
a
to. You have to go to China,
Yeah.
and then you take a plane in. I was ready to do it. I was gonna go with a friend at the time, and then they backed out, and I was like, I'm not going alone. Like
You don't come back.
It was like $2,000. I was like, I had saved up. I'm like, I'm gonna go to North Korea. I'm gonna do the tour group and all that, the propaganda posters, get rice while half the country starves, and do all the tours, see the empty hotel. I guess I'm glad I didn't do it in the end because it's like whatever.
Who knows what would have happened?
Yeah.
Remember that?
I don't
People
think they
go all the
would
time.
kill tourists like
No,
that.
Well, they
People
did it
go
to
all
the
the
American.
time.
Remember the American
Dude,
tourist?
that was terrifying.
The kid?
Otto Warmbier, that guy.
Yeah, what happened to
they,
him?
They accused him of stealing a propaganda poster from a hotel. There's very grainy footage of somebody walking in a hallway, and that's the evidence. And then they made him read a statement where they took him. I'm assuming they like tortured him and got a confession. And then you see him, and he's like under super distress, give a press conference where he's reading a letter they clearly wrote for him because it's in broken English. Half of it doesn't make sense. And he's admitting to doing it, and it like in this jotted English. And then they kept him for like a year. And then he was his health was like super critical condition, and they sent him back to the States. I think he died right before he left or on the way.
On the way. Yeah.
And the the doctors in the States don't know what he died from. They're like, we don't even know. They were like, it's possible they experimented on him with some weird fucking shit because they were like his insides, some of his organs were like melting or some shit. Like it was fucked. Like I think they tortured the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like it's
They must,
terrifying.
yeah.
And I think that was an excuse because even them, they're crazy. I don't think that the punishment for taking a poster is death like that. I think it was just
It's a statement.
what?
It was like they were trying to make a
Yeah,
statement.
they were trying to make a
Like,
statement,
they
yeah,
were like,
exactly.
Fuck you
You
to the
think they
States.
set him up?
Very possible.
Yeah, no, like not beforehand, but when they had him there, they're like, let's tell the States how we fucking really feel. Let's grab an American.
Yeah.
But did he steal the poster?
It's possible.
But even at that, I don't think that's how they would have normally reacted if they weren't trying to make a statement. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, unless they were in anger mode where we don't give a fuck, we got our fingers on the nuke,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have the balls to do that. Like, that was clearly they were pissed off to do that.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying. Because I heard the story and then I went deep on it and I was like, they don't even know how he died.
Which
They
is
were like-
scary as hell.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
damn.
something. Obviously, his organs didn't melt, but there was some weird thing that happened.
Maybe they injected him with acid or something like that.
Yeah, the acid scares me.
They were. This is a speculation. They were speculating that they were experimenting with some kind of drug on him, and it had some crazy side effect. And like,
But he died like at the airport.
I think on the way, he died on the
Yeah.
way, or he died just getting to the States. But it was something like that. It was something like there was no way of saving him. Like by the time he was back home, this is done. The deal is done.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was hearing about the reason, and it was, he ripped a poster. He tried to steal a poster, bring it back home. And I was like, even if he stole a poster, shouldn't you be happy? Like, yo, this guy's spreading your propaganda in another country.
Yeah.
Like that's not a way to react. It's me. That's the thing that I can't. People always try to rationalize. You're gonna find people out there who are gonna be like, well, he shouldn't have broken the law over there. Guys, don't try to rationalize. There's some stuff that I can't get behind. Like what happened in Nice the other day. The Tunisian kid who went and cut off the 76-year-old woman's head.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
In the church. You saw it happen like yesterday, before
teacher?
yesterday.
Yeah, like
no, the teacher
yesterday.
happened. And then yesterday, another attack in Nice. He killed 3 people.
In a church,
In a church. And one of the women, 76, like my mom's age, and cut her head off. Yeah. So when people are like, well, like I went on Twitter earlier, well, that's what happens if you think that your freedom of expression, you can make fun of religious. It's like, shut the fuck. You cannot excuse that. Don't jump into this conversation. You can't excuse it. You can't tie it into every Muslim. You can't tie any of that stuff. The people who do this are fucked.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't excuse it. Oh, he was offended. You can't say it's all Muslims. You can't do all that shit. Be honest.
No, absolutely. You can't be like, well, they shouldn't have. Well,
No, never.
There's no excuse for
I don't
that,
care
you know
what
what
you
I mean?
believe in. What you believe is wrong. Or you believe in it wrong, but what you believe is 100% garbage.
So there was like
fucked.
2 beheadings in France in like the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's been rough.
No, it's insane. It's like this. Like there's like a lot of soldiers on the streets right now in France from the footage I saw. Like
That's so scary.
Yeah.
It's super, especially because Turkey, like Erdogan was saying a lot of stuff like, you're going to
Needs a mental
see,
check.
watch out. Yeah, you watch out when you talk about Muslims, you're going to see what's going to happen. And they're saying that all the stuff Erdogan was saying was kind of like a call to arms for his, because this guy funded a lot of jihadists that he took from Syria, from Libya. He's put them through Greece to go into Europe to do shit like this. So they said when he said that about Macron, it was like a silent like call to arms for those people, and that's what's happening now. So he needs to be careful what he's saying. And then Macron's like, we're not going to accept any form of terrorism. Like there's all kinds of shit. Because Erdogan's lost his shit. Erdogan wants to create a new Islamic Ottoman Empire, Republic, all that shit. He's lost his fucking mind. So all these like low IQ, hardcore, fanatical kids, dude,
that's the danger. You get these kids who like they're coming from countries like Libya and stuff like that have been devastated and. It's a mix between like fanatical religious belief and just probably a kid who like
PTSD,
fucking
maybe.
PTSD. Maybe his parents were blown up in front of him, and he's like, just fucking.
Yeah, you want to get revenge? God told me how to get revenge. This is how you're gonna get revenge.
And to incite people who are already kind of like in a state like that is just. Fucked.
But the religious leaders, like for example, the Ayatollah, who tell people any form of criticism towards Islam or any prophet, whatever, is punishable by death, and this is how it should be, are responsible, I think, because you're the religious leader and you're telling people like this is the cause, this is the effect, right? This is how it should work. So like the Ayatollah wrote, Khomeini wrote on Twitter. He went and tweeted to the people of France, kids, do you think it's normal that you think your freedom of expression can criticize, the God's messenger, whatever? Do you really think that that's right? Or he's basically saying like this is why it happened. And this is what your freedom of expression gets you. Like, you can't criticize him and those. So I criticized him. I called him a dummy. I told him to shut up, which one step away from fatwa. They're going to call fatwa on me soon. But it's just, I did it to showcase that, no, I could criticize you. Criticize whoever you want. Criticize Jesus. We can't live. The Western world, I don't want to turn it like that. Like, you can't have anyone being scared to criticize anything.
It's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
Everything's
absolutely.
open to criticism. And, let it be out there. Especially, this isn't even criticism. This is what cartoons that cause this.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Have you seen the dumb cartoons that have come up for everyone else, for Buddha, for Jesus? Like, come on, guys. This is not an isolated incident against one, religious icon. Everyone gets it.
I mean,
especially here.
Those radical people are just gonna find any excuse to.
That's the thing.
Something.
Yeah, someone wrote on Twitter on that thread, and then a person in my Discord messaged me. He goes, have you seen this? The guy wrote about what happened. He goes, well, that's what happens. You step out of line. We need to, set you back straight. We're doing this to set you back straight. You need to realize the error of your ways, and this is what you get. I was like, fuck. Like the error, you criticize the wrong person, and we're going to cut some heads off in churches, especially like a 70-something-year-old woman. It's not even like they went directly to Macron or the newspaper. They went to a random old lady.
Yeah.
It's for anyways.
So that lady and that kid had no link.
She was in another city. It was in Nice. No, she was just an old lady in a church. They said, okay, we're going to, like, that was equal. They go, you made fun of him? Well, equal thing is for us to chop the head off this lady. He was a Tunisian kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, super fucked.
So the recruit system must have been fucked up.
I don't even know how much recruiting there is. I think you're just inciting people who are nuts. You know,
Maybe,
what I mean? I don't
maybe,
think
yeah.
it's a
There's recruiting that happens. I know that, but you're right. It probably does incite nut cases.
like, yeah. I just think because there's like, I don't want to fucking.
Is that me?
That's
Oh,
Jurassic
me.
Park.
That's mine.
Oh, it's
Yeah, I don't know how. I think it's again going back to like conspiracies and shit because it's like it seems like easy to be like, oh, there's a clear recruitment system. There's like this group that is working together, and I think it's even scarier to think that no, you just kind of like there is a lot of people who believe this way, but there's like just a couple nutcases. Like
Yeah,
that.
that's
and
what
that's
it
kind
is.
of even scarier than like an organization. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's super scary because you have these offshoots, people that are willing to go the extra mile, thinking that God told them to do it. You have it everywhere with different religions. Just obviously their limits are different, and what it's going to take them to snap is different. We found the snapping point for fanatical Islamists, right? There's snapping points for fanatical. There's snapping points for everyone. Maybe we haven't touched it yet. We know the snapping point for North Koreans. Like this guy's one step away. One wrong thing that we say about him might nuke South Korea. You know what I mean? Like there's different snapping points for these. It's just scary when the enemy is someone, like now the problem with France is that the enemy is someone that they can't tell the difference from. It's kids, it's young. The Chechnyan guy last week who cut the teacher's head off, is like a 20-year-old kid. You don't think about it. You see a 20-year-old kid, you know, you don't think, this guy's going to chop off some heads because he's so offended.
yeah.
So that's what's scary is then you don't know.
For sure. And it's scary too because then you incite the complete. You'll incite like the ultra nationalists and the ultra.
Well, what happens is then Muslims,
mean?
regular people, eat the biggest part of it is going to be them who suffer. Just like 9/11,
Yeah.
when random Muslims and Sikhs in New York were like,
Yeah, they
I'm
were
a Sikh,
beating
I'm
the
not
shit out
even
of Sikhs.
Yeah, I'm
Not
exactly.
even Muslims.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
people who look like they might be like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
anyone.
fucked up.
Yeah, but that's what happens because you don't. And I'm not saying it's the right thing; it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
But it's the sad reality of this cause and effect, where you think you're doing right by God, and you just fucked over people who believe in your religion without being assholes like you. You just fuck them over for the next 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just causing like you're complaining about like, you know, having rights taken away or Islamophobia, but like all you've done is made that so much worse.
Yeah.
The potential for people who are just like, hey, I'm a, you know, immigrant.
It's like right now,
from,
Ali,
you know,
fucking Ali, our Persian friend Ali.
yeah.
It's like him right now getting messages of what the fuck did you do in France? Like
right. Yeah.
what the fuck does he have to do with any of this shit?
Yeah.
He's got nothing to do with it. But because he's a Muslim guy, and his name is Ali. You know, like the lines are so stupid. But that's what happens. People then they get nervous and they do stupid shit like this, and it perpetuates.
Yeah.
And then you look at it from the outside and you're like, you fucking dummies. Like literally the difference between us and monkeys starts looking way smaller. Like the difference, like we're kind of the
for
same.
Sure. I think
we're
we
monkeys
got,
with cell
we
phones.
got mom's genes from
Yeah.
alien Poseidon's fuckery.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, I know.
God damn it, we went through a fucking
pretty
loop
deep.
today. God damn it, it was good.
Good thing we
Tats-
ended on a positive note.
Good thing we ended on positive. Yes, death to the infidels. So Poseidon is here. Links are in the description. Get the link to follow Tats. Get the link to follow Wassim. Thank you guys for being here, and go fuck yourselves.